Call this meeting of the Douglas Historical Commission to order on April 11th, 2025.
2:21.
At 2:21. This meeting is taking place in the community meeting room at the Douglas Municipal Center. Present today are Rebecca Doyen-LaValle,
Dawn Fontaine.
And Sarah Guy.
Christy Turgeon will be here shortly. Scott Garland is on leave, excuse leave of absence. All right, we'll go ahead and start without Christy. Let's start by approving the agenda for today. Dawn had already sent it out, but just a quick review. Approve the minutes from the last meeting, some quick administrative items, and then the big thing is going to be the working session to review all of our lovely properties. And that's not even all of them. And then schedule moving forward.
Okay.
Motion to approve the agenda?
We're approving minutes, right?
Nope, agenda.
Oh, agenda first. Okay, motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion approved. The meetings from the February 28th meeting, 2025, Dawn has sent over. They're also in your folder. If everyone wants to take a minute to review them.
I should see what I think is a typo.
Oh.
September 26, 2016 will be the 80th anniversary of the game.
Oh,
Should that be
2026. Yeah.
All right.
Where? Oh, here it is.
Oh.
Should we, instead of calling that town cemetery, should we be saying Douglas Center Cemetery? Because
Is that what
the
it's
town?
called?
Yeah, because the town owns more than one cemetery. So just to clarify, maybe say Douglas Center on that.
I can look to see what it's officially called if you want, how it's listed.
It's Douglas Center.
It is
Yeah,
listed
'cause that's-
officially as Douglas
Yeah,
Center?
that's one of our cemeteries.
Okay.
It just, I don't know, town cemetery might get confusing because we have like 4 big ones.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I don't see what page that's on.
The third page.
I'm so sorry. That's okay. I knew I was going to be late.
Cute
so.
haircut.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
We approved the very quick agenda, now we're just going over the minutes.
Center Cemetery, Sarah?
Yeah,
Douglas
Center.
Center.
Okay.
Yep.
And I think the town common is actually town common.
Okay.
Okay. Move to approve the minutes.
Well, do you want a quick minute
Or
to?
do-
So what, I saw that you were making some notes, so it was just the town cemetery?
Oh, I had the wrong date on something and then just changed the name, Douglas Center Cemetery instead of Town Cemetery.
Because we've got a couple of cemeteries that are
And
owned
then
by the
it was
town.
2026.
Did you get my email yesterday?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you got it because I know your emails and us are sometimes not friends.
No, I did get it.
Okay.
No, I don't know what what that was about at first when I was like replying to everyone and
Yeah.
everyone's like, no one's answering me. I did. 5 minutes after you sent it. Okay. Looks good to me.
Okay, motion to approve?
So moved.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. All right. All right, so before we get to the fun, the real reason we're here, so Sarah heard back from Rec Commission, and of
Okay.
course, the one date we didn't have as our available Tuesdays is the date they picked.
Tuesday, April 15th.
Okay.
Yeah. I
I,
think, what did I say, 5:30?
5:30.
April,
Okay.
Tuesday, April 15th.
Next
is
week.
Tuesday at 5,
5:30.
5:30.
Yep. Literally, the one Tuesday we didn't have in April,
Oh.
they picked, and they gave us a week.
Okay.
But he did say if we couldn't really make that one, we could always ask them to post it on another one, but
Yeah, but we'd like to.
yeah.
The big thing with that is we're going to need to get some kind of idea of what our ask is, or what our,
Right.
we're not really asking them, but we need to talk about money.
Right.
Well,
I
I-
think first we need to decide like what exactly is going there because now we have like two different ideas on the table. Like originally I presented them the idea of like a bronze plaque specifically about the Red Sox Yankees game. And then when you guys had the discussion after I left, it got changed to like
Doing more of the history of
plastic signs with like the whole history of baseball in Douglas,
Yeah.
like with the mill leagues and all of that. So I did mention that to the chairman, and he said that he would like to see, like in an email, like a
What the-
specific thing that
Okay.
we're proposing.
Okay.
So, you know, he was hoping to get that information before their meeting Tuesday. So
Yeah,
I
we
don't
can do
know.
it before. I mean, I can give what I have before then.
Did you get the plaque information? So when I drove by, now I've got to try and find it again. Why I don't save these things easily. So in Whitensville, this is what they have outside of
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
outside of the police museum, the state police museum. And that's
Just
originally
walked by here the other day.
that's originally what I was kind of thinking, but instead of being a standing one,
One that goes on the.
on the concession stand.
Oh, okay, on the concession stand.
Yeah, I like that.
So it would be, I don't know what those are called. That's the problem. I don't know what the
Yeah.
actual official name is. And I thought, and I can do like a very quick timeline, but I would do the timeline of baseball in Douglas based on Gagney's research. And he did a whole timeline of baseball in Douglas. It was presented to the National Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York, and accepted into their archives. And it includes the baseball, the Blackstone Valley Baseball League, Mill League, which I don't remember off the top of my head, but numerous ball players who are now in the Hall of Fame, inducted in the Hall of Fame, were part of that. Some played for Douglas, all of that. That's where baseball started in Douglas, and it was through those connections that is how that game in 46 came to happen.
Okay.
So I think
Including that history is kind of an integral part.
of that game.
Yeah.
So I think like a timeline from when the mill leagues really came into it to the 1946 game, and showing it on the plaque where you could also have pictures, you could have the aerial view of the game from 46 along with some of the other pictures is what I would like for that board to be.
Okay.
So that's option one. The other option is the bronze thing.
Because like when I presented it to them, they were more concerned about like, you know, something that wasn't like, you know, I'm kind of concerned with like the size of like we're kind of changing from like the focus on one game and one little plaque to like something that's much bigger. And
Yeah.
I know they were more concerned about like people playing and running into it, or like
Okay.
where it would be. You know what I mean?
But
that
if we're
kind of
but
thing.
if we're
so.
mounting it to the concession
It won't
to
be in
a
the way.
to a bl- to a
Yeah.
wall
But also,
on the
like,
concession stand.
I don't
it-
know how, I don't really know how that would look. I mean, I guess it's a matter of, your personal preference.
Well,
for,
like I said,
Yeah.
it wouldn't
know.
hurt to present them the couple of ideas that we have, giving them the ideas of the history
Right.
of baseball in town. Two ideas: one, the game alone; one, the history of the game, and how do they think the best way to present it is.
Right.
Right.
And we work with them to do it, figure out, and then once we know what way we want to go, then we start
Yeah.
looking at the money. Then we start looking
Right.
at what we're actually going to be putting on it. I think we need to know what we're.
And I also don't know, like, the
But
cost of each option.
Yeah,
You know
well,
what I mean?
that's-
Like, I don't know, like, what, like, a small bronze plaque would cost versus, like, a big
Poster.
thing that we're mounting
That's why
on
I
the
think we need
building.
some kind of idea of pricing, not that
Yeah.
we're talking
Right.
exactly
And
that now, but-
I noticed on the last meeting, the one where I had to leave early, like, you guys mentioned you were concerned about vandalism, and I didn't know, like, is there a reason that there was a concern for that? Because I
think-
know, like, Soldiers is pretty closely monitored. They have those
Somebody,
closed circuit
I think
cameras
Scott's the
there,
one
and
who said
Yeah,
vandalism.
like,
Scott.
I know,
I didn't think of it.
my
That-
tenant previously took a walk down there and at night, and the cops were there in 5 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's not monitored, is what I'm saying. So I'm
Yeah.
not too concerned about, like, something we put up being destroyed. So I don't know.
and
I wasn't sure where that thought came from, but
I think it came from Scott more because he's not used to Douglas.
yeah. I mean, I guess the bigger something is too, the more apt somebody might be to
but then, like-
vandalize it. But
But then, like I said, if that was a concern, you can always just get a thin plexiglass that you put over
Right.
it. That if it gets vandalized, it's
Yeah.
very easy to swap out the plexiglass so that.
That would be true for what we're talking about, not so much for a little plaque. Well, I guess for a little plaque too.
The small well, I did have preliminary pricing from a while ago.
oh, okay.
So
For the plaque.
for a bronze plaque,
And I mean, like,
it's about 1,000. 24 by 18. So like 18,
right,
24.
Or 2 feet.
right.
Which
so,
would be
like,
about what, you could put a decent amount of text
Yeah.
on it. So that's about 1,150. At least from
Do we know
last
how
year.
much about the large plastic stuff
That
costs?
that was Scott was supposed to
Oh,
get the
okay.
pricing on that, and he never did.
Hmm. And I mean, I'm not too worried about how well bronze would hold up over time. Like, it'll patina, like, it'll kind of get green, but it won't get, like, unreadable,
Yeah.
because they do,
I
like,
could print this out. So that
they do, like, the veterans monuments
That gives you
are
a
out of
few
bronze,
different- different options. So part of it, Sarah, when you were putting you should bring that again too, that text that you wrote
Oh,
out. that
yeah.
has a
I've
good
got a
Okay, I
copy of
should
it
probably
still.
have
I've got it.
Oh, okay.
But it was it was long, so I think
Yeah.
that's
And
partly
see,
where the
like, to
conversation
me, this
went
is just
to.
like, it's kind of
Commemorative.
more historic looking than, like, say, like a plastic thing. You know what I mean? Like, just
Yes.
as far as, like,
You think of it like a recreation
yeah.
thing or whatever with those,
Right.
but-
I guess
Like,
just to
I don't
me,
know,
like,
like, when you have, like, a plaque on your house, it's usually the bronze plaque. Like, it's not,
Yeah.
but I guess to me, like, I'm
Are
looking.
people more apt to look at a bronze plaque or something like this?
I feel like,
Color.
to me, I feel like if we're talking historical, I want the information. I want to know the history of the game. I want to know the history of base. I'm there. I'm a baseball fan. I want to know the history of baseball in Douglas.
but it's also like how, you know, how much information do you want to give someone in just like, I mean, it's like a little area, you know what I mean? It's not like a huge stadium. So, like, I mean,
But-
people can still look up the history of baseball, but just something that gives them like a taste of, like,
Yeah.
hey, this happened here. Because my original thought came about because when you go to Soldiers, there's nothing there that says the Red Sox played the Yankees there. Like, you don't even know that happened there. Like, so if you're from out of town and you're over there and you're like, visiting or whatever, and you're on a visiting
I
team,
think-
you wouldn't even know that happened there.
Yeah.
I think kids, I think that kind of stuff are going to be more attracted to a sign with pictures and information than they are to a bronze plaque. That's my opinion.
So the only thing that I would want to, we could we could take that pricing sheet to get some kind of an idea if we're going bronze. You know, it
I just
doesn't
think
have to be
like when I
1,000.
think of like a historic place, I just don't think of putting plastic. That's just my
Where are you
personal.
getting? Where are you getting? I'm not thinking. To me, this stuff is not plastic. You see those all over the place. You see those in
You do, but
national
they're-
parks. You see them in
Yes.
museums.
You do, but they're
you
very.
see them. No,
They're very big, and they're not very.
They're
don't know.
information. They're historical. They give what people. They give history.
Well, they do give a lot of information. I will give them that, but I just don't think they. Personally, aesthetically, I think bronze is nicer, but that's just me aesthetically. You know, like I wouldn't
I
put
don't disagree
one of those
with
on my
either of you.
house.
I know.
I do.
I would put a
agree
bronze on
the
my house, but
But I think like for the information we're trying to show, I feel like people would be more apt to read it if it was one
if
of
it
those.
was on one of those.
You know what I mean?
Photos and
Like
stuff,
for the
yeah.
specific message we're trying to relay to people, I feel like they would be more apt to like.
Interpretation board, it's called.
Is that what it's called?
Okay,
to
so
look
that's
at.
its official name. Okay.
I think so.
I'm like, I know you see them on like the rail trail and the bikeways and like, but they're just so large. Like, I don't know. It-
Well, I mean, they can be custom sized to what we've got, and it depends on what size we're looking for. I've seen them where they're this big, and I've seen them where they're this
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
And we're not looking for a stand board, we're looking for one that we can mount,
on,
which is
right.
gonna present differently.
Yeah. I guess we'd also have to ask them if they would be okay with mounting something
Well,
on the
like I said, it would
concession
be-
stand, you know.
It's like the different types
Oh,
that
yeah.
this company anyway makes.
Oh.
But I do think we need some kind of, some of these are pretty fancy.
Right?
So we do need some
Like
kind
different
of,
swooshy shapes and stuff.
yeah, and then there's like if you were, well, there's a wall panel.
Oh,
On a
okay.
nicer wall than maybe what we have, but something like that. I don't know if it would give us pricing. I can maybe look at that separately.
Yeah. I mean, I just know when I talked to them, they seemed most concerned about like the possibility of people running into it or like, you know what I mean? Like
If
people
it's mounted
joking
on the
around.
concession stand, though, that's not
That's
gonna really
outside
happen.
of, yeah, right. It would be outside of where people would hopefully be jumping around.
Well, the only thing that happens over by the concession stand is they have like bleachers where people are sitting.
Yeah. So
Like,
they
they're
might
not-
they might even be apt to read.
Oh, this is in
because they'll be-
Britain.
Right. If it's on, are we thinking, if we're looking at the concession stand, if we're ordering an icy,
Right.
is it on the right side, on that side of the field, or are we looking to place it on the,
Probably the
where-
left, closer to the,
out the main field?
It would be
Because there's
wherever
a-
they would want us
Okay.
to put it, because it would be up to them on the placement of
Like
it.
where
Okay.
we go.
this one website has a lot of different options, but they're not in the States. But anyway, interpretation panels are
At least now we know what it's called because we're like those things that you see at the bikeway.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
We all knew what we meant, but we're just like, what are they called? I know.
Or is it just the thing there?
And the thing is, depending, I mean, this could be something that we could also go to National Heritage Corridor. We could probably talk to them and see if there's any funding through them.
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, there's also other funding options that we might have for that type of stuff.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what kind of budget Reccom gets or, you know,
Yeah, it's not gonna
what
be.
kind we get probably.
I know, if we're going,
Right.
if we're going big, I think, maybe I shouldn't think that way, but I'm a little concerned. Well, we probably should get on to the.
You never know how the
We'll
funding
charge
is, but-
everybody to show that movie there.
Yeah, right. That
And
was
then-
Oh,
exactly. That was
another
my
fundraiser.
That was my thought. Was it would be really great to have a showing of that the movie they filmed there, but like have it at Soldiers and open the concession stand for like popcorn and
Yeah.
like have one of those outdoor movie
And a
screens.
donation for the.
Yeah, right.
That would be
Just like
so
donate
cool.
for the plaque. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
So like I said, I think when we go to the meeting, we basically explain to them the two options, the plaque like this, or the interpretation board that would give timeline of the game with some picture, timeline of baseball in Douglas with some pictures, leading up to the big game.
So, I have a couple little graphics programs if we want to, like, I can just pull something off. If you give me the timeline.
Okay, I will see what I can do. It's all going to depend on whether or not Justin is in on Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
He had the eye surgery.
Oh.
Everything went well,
Yay.
Good.
but he thinks he's going to be back after 4 days.
Yeah. I don't know.
Exactly. So, I will do my best to get that to you, the timeline.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm thinking just a rough timeline. You know what I mean? Not,
Right, at this point, it just would be rough.
yeah.
And I need to either find, if we can get what Sarah had sent before.
Yep, I've got that right in here.
I might have it.
It's actually, I believe it's actually in the drive.
Okay, great.
I think it's already in the drive.
Okay, so.
Yep,
who-
soldiers, it's in the drive, DHC shared folder.
Okay. Okay, so who can go to the meeting? We don't need everybody, but.
I can.
I'll be
cannot.
there because I'm filming, so
Okay.
I'll be there either way. But I don't
Okay.
really plan on speaking. I'm just going to be present.
Okay, all right, then I can go too.
Okay.
At this point, it's nothing scheduled, Tuesday at 5:30.
So
So,
if there's 3 of us, we should probably post a meeting.
can we technically post it? Technically, we can post up to Saturday. Is it considered posting as long as you email it to them by Saturday? Is that considered the 48
Am I
hours?
supposed to know the answer to that? I don't know.
I think we email it and hope that it's considered, because according
But they have an agenda.
But I won't be speaking anyway. I'll just be there because I'm working. But
Well-
I mean, unless someone specifically asks me a question, I don't plan on.
Yeah. You're just an audience member.
Right.
But I thought the idea was that it would be on the Recreation Commission's
but
agenda
there's-
that we are attending.
There's
Yeah,
three of
it
us,
is
but there's
supposed
3 of
to
us
be,
there, and
yeah.
we'll be discussing.
So we should
this.
post a joint meeting if.
There's
like,
technically 3 of us there,
there's
and
a
we're
quorum of
discussing.
us.
Okay.
There's discussing.
Yeah. So
We're-
anytime like a quorum of us goes like before another board, we're
Yeah.
supposed to post a
A
meeting
separate
as
one.
well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. By law, public notice of all committee meetings must be posted with town clerk a minimum of 48 hours before any meeting. Saturdays are counted.
We'll still be.
So
no,
can you
wait,
send
Saturday.
it tonight and then
As long as you
Saturday?
send it, technically, it's
Yeah.
been sent to her, as long as she posts it Monday morning. I
Okay,
think we are.
I can do that.
I just believe you have to send it by.
Using those 48 by 5:30 on Saturday. Oh,
Right.
wait.
By
Send it today.
You're gonna send it
I
at
know.
5
By four, I believe-
4:59, right?
I'll do it right now.
Send it at 4:59. That'd be funny.
Like one of those
I would just
movies.
use, and I don't know if you would just send it as.
We're just under the wire.
Send it as just like, historical commission will be attending
Yeah.
recreation
I'll do it.
commission
Where
meetings.
anyone would understand it and they can decide what they do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could say we're posting a joint meeting or we're, attending rec commission's meeting.
Yeah.
So can somebody please,
But I won't participate because I wasn't planning on it. I was planning on being there to.
can somebody please make a motion that when we are at the rec commission meeting, we present the 2 options to them for the, plaque.
Sure, so moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion is passed that we will present the option for the plaque or the, what's it called, board? Interpretation board. Thank you.
And now I learned something new. I know what those are called. I'm like,
Yeah.
The things that you see at the bikeway. The things that-
And I will do my best to get a rough timeline and some rough photographs.
Can we get also a rough idea of what it would cost per
Well,
size, or
the-
just so we can give them like an
I can
AB of?
Unfortunately, I'm trying to get pricing and it's not easy.
You have to like.
Yeah, it looks
They're
like
like,
you
we'll
have to-
call
They're
you.
like, yeah, right.
Right.
I'm seeing it can be
Golly.
anywhere from 250 to 5,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
that's
quite
what's
a
again
broad
the
range.
Charter window.
Right.
Yeah, like
Right.
I honestly I
250 to 2,000?
to 5,000.
Because this says 700 to 3,000 pounds. Because again, I'm getting it.
Honestly, I think National Heritage Corridor might be one of our best resources
Yeah.
for something like
Right. If somebody
this.
wanted to like reach out to them,
For
they've
twofold.
probably done those.
One as a resource for pricing and stuff, but also they might be.
How the heck would you find the right person?
I would
You know
just
what I
call them
mean?
and be like, "This is what we're looking to do." But I also think they might be a good place for possible financing or like grant or funding.
Nobody has any money anymore at the government.
Right.
Well, there's. I
What
think.
government?
I think
The
they're.
government anymore.
I think they're state. So if we get to them quick enough,
Exactly.
if we get to them quick enough, are they state? Blackstone River Valley National.
I don't know. All I see is like a generic email. There's a phone number though.
I did have a contact with Blackstone Heritage Corridor because Cemetery Commission had done a couple of workshops with them. We hosted a couple of cleanups, so I don't know if the same person would know because I don't know if that was their events coordinator, but
Yeah.
They might know where to direct you. though,
Right.
Or like
Yeah, someone
a
can do
name
that.
of who.
right,
you
who we could
need.
ask.
Board
right.
and staff members are listed.
I mean, I guess you could just call their main number if they have one and ask, like a general question. And I'm sure they
Yeah,
could point
I
us
say
in the
the
right
staff,
direction.
but it's like a director, marketing director, office manager. Like none of those lead me to say like, oh yeah, they would know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But somebody there will, and they'll get you.
Right. Hopefully they could point us in the right direction.
Okay. All right.
All right. So now do we want to move on to the fun stuff?
Sure.
I did not bother doing all of the properties because I knew there was no way we were getting through all of
Okay,
them, so I wasn't
sure.
killing myself doing all of them at once.
Are we
Right.
cleaning off this table mostly?
I figured that's what we would.
Just put stuff on the end.
Okay. So, here, okay, so I used the 2008 photographs because I wasn't going to start making,
New ones.
Yeah.
Well, aren't we deciding what?
well, I wasn't going to start trying to crop photos, get photos from Google if I already had a photo available.
Right.
I just wasn't going to take the time.
Okay.
So
I
here's,
feel like we need a list, or I could do it on my computer.
what are you looking to do?
The list of all the properties.
I've got one of those.
Okay.
I've got everything. Just
Do you
tell me-
need that one? Though? Is that one?
No matter what it is, she's like, I have
I'm
that.
just thinking we can mark it up, but I can mark it up on the digital file. Is that better?
No, paper is better because then yeah. Don't worry about all of this. This is just, we can mark that
Okay.
to the cows come
Okay.
home.
All right.
And the only thing it doesn't say is whether it's contributing or not contributing, but we
But
can
we'll
get that.
be able to tell.
Yeah.
I've got that information
And
here.
we have the year built, so even like that. is-
Okay.
What is?
Circa.
Circa.
Oh,
We don't know
circa.
the name, the year.
Or R is, we looked it up one time. It was between. It was like,
Yeah, like
Oh.
this decade or something.
yeah.
Oh,
It was-
interesting.
Yeah, I've got it somewhere and I can't remember where it is. Okay, so like I said, the pictures of 2008, I wasn't taking the time.
Right.
This is the architectural narrative. This is the historical narrative.
Okay.
And that is how I did it. Every building has its own sheet.
Okay. All right. Great.
Right.
So.
I know that house.
Right? Yeah. It's like that looks familiar.
So really,
Right.
so really the question
It's funny,
really
two people at this
becomes,
table have lived there.
Oh my gosh.
the question becomes if we just want to make it, the real question is, do we want to make it fit into the historical narrative or the architectural narrative?
Okay.
Can it not have both?
I think just a
Like,
few of
it
them
would be
would
so
probably
long.
fall.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the way Lennox, is it Lennox? Was that the
Lennox.
But
yeah.
do we lose what we don't include? That's my question.
Okay, so here's the thing.
to let it go?
Yeah. We don't want, this is Lennox's. We don't want it to be longer than this. If we include everything for every property, we're going to be looking at like a 500-page document.
But okay, so like you know how right now you go on Macros. When you go on Macros, you pull up this and you pull up that. So if we're resubmitting, do
No,
we lose
no,
what's
no,
on
no,
there?
we're-
Like, does
we're-
the
we're-
history of this
We're
disappear?
creating
we're-
a whole new.
We're creating a historical and architectural narrative of Douglas.
Right. So is that going to change what?
No, this is still going to be on the Form B. This
Yeah.
is going to be on Form B. We're trying to create the narrative for Form A. We're trying to create a narrative of Douglas using all of these properties to create
Right.
that narrative.
Yeah.
So we don't need all of this.
Okay, but the details won't be
The details.
disappearing from like
No.
people being able to find.
No.
this.
Okay. This is
No,
is
we're
not.
not gonna, right.
This is not.
People
We're creating a new document.
right?
This is not leaving Form B.
Right.
Form Bs are staying on Macros how they are.
Okay, that was my question.
We are creating one of these.
Okay, so you're doing
We are-
just like the narrative of the
The
whole
narrative
overall.
of Douglas.
Okay.
And the narrative of Douglas,
Well, not Douglas. Douglas Center. Or
no,
not Douglas Downtown.
downtown Douglas. And the narrative of of East Douglas is going to be the mill narrative,
Right.
covering two separate mill periods, covering the axe mill era and covering the woolen mill era. So we're looking 1790s to 1850s would probably be the height of the axe mills, and 1880s to 1940s, 50s would been the height of the woolen mill era.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's what we're trying to do.
So I would generally start with the, like for me, I'd rather read the historical first to understand the
and remember,
structural.
just because a property is contributing does not mean that it necessarily has to fit into the historical or the architectural
Yeah.
narrative.
So-
Sometimes it just might not.
And maybe we should have like a Sharpie or something noticeable, and then we'll just mark it. Like either don't use it, or this is A for architectural or H for historical. And then make it whatever note we want to make on the photos.
So if we don't include something, does that make it not included in the district?
No,
though?
they're all going to be
Okay.
included. They're
Okay.
all,
It's just not going to be included in the narrative.
Oh, okay.
right.
Remember, the narrative we don't want to be too. We want the narrative to
Was that
be,
the one where they wanted like specific examples and that kind of thing?
Yeah, like so. Here's Lennox's, and this is their historical narrative.
Oh, okay.
And then you go further, and then this is their architectural narrative, or vice versa, where they talk about how the buildings impact the history of the time, or how.
So it's like, this isn't every building they have, this is just the ones they highlighted, is that?
Right, and
Right,
some buildings
okay.
are highlighted as historical, some buildings are highlighted as architectural.
okay.
Every now and then you've got a building that's highlighted as both, but it's usually like a Schuster Mill type
Yeah,
building that's
okay.
highlighted as both. And
So-
sometimes a building's not highlighted at all.
Yeah, because like this non-contributing that were built,
Or
you know, in the last 5 years.
contributing are not
Right,
highlighted because
right.
it's just like it was a house that was part of
Yeah.
the time
right.
period. It's nothing
And we covered it
special.
already with blah, blah, blah street. So there's one architectural that all goes together, and there's one historical that all goes together, right?
Yep.
So when I read this, well, maybe I don't want to give anybody my thoughts, but I'll tell you after.
Sure, go ahead.
Dawn, it might, oh, come on.
This one, I wish I had a really noticeable. This is nice.
Dawn, you've got your laptop out
Yeah, I
too.
can.
So if you go into your laptop and you go into the DHC shared folder, it's untitled document because I never named it.
Okay.
You and I can both look at the documents
Mm-hmm.
on our laptops, which
Okay.
would,
Up to the internet here, I'm using my phone.
oh yeah, the passwords on the wall over there.
Which one? Douglas Guest?
Yeah.
It's
Want to read about your house?
I think I have it memorized, but thanks. I said, I think I have it memorized, but thanks.
Douglas, and then capital M, capital A.
M-A?
Mass is capital, MA is capital, and then 19.
Okay.
I don't have the Wi-Fi password memorized, but I do have my, my house's historic narrative memorized.
So if you go into,
It's still thinking. That's where I want to be.
nope, you want to go out.
Okay.
Like I said, this way you and I can, oh, Christy's got hers too.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It just might make it easier, so not everybody's.
So, once we get going, I think it'll go quicker, but that narrative is really interesting. And while the house is really cool with the mansard roof and everything, it's had more alterations than most, probably.
It has? No way, really? I don't think so. I know we haven't altered it.
I guess the question.
What's been altered on it?
I guess the question is, did the alterations happen?
What alterations?
Did the alterations happen because of
historic thing.
historic? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you
Historic
counting the
related.
1872 edition as an alteration? Because we have an 1800s house with an 1872 edition.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's altered, but it's altered in 1872.
But isn't the porch added later and so forth? But I don't know. It's just.
The porch might have been enclosed, like, probably in the 30s, maybe?
Yeah.
But as far as, like, that making it altered, like, I don't, compared to
Yeah.
some of the ones I saw, I wouldn't say so.
Okay.
Like,
Well,
I saw a
anyway,
lot of them that, like, I literally had to look at the house and say, like, is this even the same place? Because it
Yeah,
was, like,
right.
they changed the roof line, or they did, like, some crazy
Right.
stuff like that.
I don't know. I
so-
just think it's cool that it was an underground tunnel where liquor
Right.
was hid, and it was a bake shop and a saloon and a prominent
So do we want to?
politician. So what I would do, well, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
So we want to definitely use 2A Street in the narrative.
Right.
Probably most likely the historical, then the architectural.
because of the dry town.
Yes. So on that sheet, this sheet here, I would just put.
Next
You
to
can
the
put
number?
it. Nope, you can put it anywhere on that line. Ignore what that sheet actually.
Historical.
Rename your
I'm
columns.
just gonna put an H. It says his.
An H and a
Yeah. We
an
definitely.
H or an A, right?
We
So,
can
H.
Maybe I'll use the pencil for now because now I'm worried about all these beautiful printings.
Why?
Why? I don't know. You took a lot of time to print that. You
No,
don't
I
care?
didn't.
Okay.
It really did not take me that long.
So then I'm just thinking it goes like we do the H here, and then we probably could use a new photo because that's
Yeah.
snow and everything.
And that's super old, like the roof has been redone
So-
and
Give me that sheet.
the trees are gone, so.
So we want historical, and we know we want new photo.
yeah,
Okay.
I can get you a bit.
yeah. Assign that to you. It's a good job for you.
I'll have to rake my front yard, but.
Okay, so we want we want to do the historical narrative, and we want a new photo.
Yes. So I don't know. I guess I'll just do a star for like need a photo there.
Honestly, I'm probably going to go off of this more than I'm going to go off of that.
That one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't need to mark them all up.
Nope.
So, do we want to well, maybe in the beginning we all read them, but maybe we can start to split them up? I don't know.
I think we,
people
well, I mean,
on?
we've all, because the three of us have our laptops, we all basically have a copy now.
Oh, right. Sarah can be our digital person. I mean, our
Okay.
non-digital.
Yeah.
person. We're on 3A Street, right?
Yep.
That one looks like it's it looks like it's floating, doesn't it? It's like wider than the foundation.
Right?
If I do that.
I don't know if it's an optical.
Do you not have
illusion.
it?
I have the drive. Which one?
Oh.
Oh, so-
Which one is it gonna be in? I don't know how to use this thing. I'm supposed to know this because I'm supposedly young.
PHC Fairchild. Dawn renamed it to 2A Street.
Oh, I thought you did that because I was like in there.
Nope, it was untitled document and all of a sudden it became 2A Street.
You know what? I was starting to rename it to something, and then all of a sudden it appeared as 2A Street. I swear to God.
I'm just gonna call it properties,
Yeah.
period.
Okay.
Oh, no, actually I'm gonna call it narratives. Because that's what they're narratives. There.
Okay. So now I'm on 3A Street. That's bad grammar. It has been remodeled some since.
No,
It has
leave the grammar alone. The grammar
Okay.
is exactly as Marsh had it.
Okay.
Oh, so we can't correct. Well, we'll just have to leave it.
Nope, the grammar needs to be left alone for now because that's as Marsh had it. It drives me
'Cause it's a
bonkers.
quote.
Yes, it was
Just put sick next to it if it's wrong.
Yeah.
it's as it was copied exactly.
Right.
Trust me,
It was right as he typed it.
I want to edit him so bad, and it takes all I have not to.
To think he did all that on a typewriter.
And that's the only reason why I don't go completely bonkers.
Right?
I
He didn't
think
have the backspace button.
I think this is a better example of architectural.
I agree. Strictly unchanged.
Right. It looks pretty
So
much
this
the
is.
same.
So how are you going to mark it in this document? Do you want me to mark it?
Nope, I'm leaving that document alone.
Okay.
We're only marking it on that paper.
And then I will put it into a spreadsheet. Photo, I mean, it's got snow, but I don't think the
So-
photo's bad unless the
The
photo.
photo is not bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so at present day, the roof is needing to be redone and it's got boards across it with tarps that are.
Then the
Oh,
photo
this is the one
is
that gets sold.
Yes.
photo
Yep.
is perfect. We do not need a new
Yeah,
photo.
I wouldn't take a new photo unless the guy happens to come and redo the roof before then, but
Yep, nope. And this is the stuff we want to know. We want to know.
my new neighbor is working on it. He has been there filling dumpster
Are they living there,
after
by the
dumpster.
way? Are they-
Not yet, so
Mhm.
he's still doing his
So
renovations.
the guy and his
but-
wife with 2 little kids.
I'm not sure about the wife and kids, but I've seen him there and he's come to, work on it and they've had a couple birthday parties in the yard and stuff, so.
Well,
They
that's
seem
good.
very nice.
All right, good.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a home.
Yes, I'm glad it's gonna be a home. I'm kind of,
Yeah, I think
I'm happy about that.
Like now,
Having it be vacant for so long is kind of sad, so I'm happy to have a new neighbor.
Yeah. All right. Mine's young.
Yeah, that's a pretty big house. I wonder what the Peter George condemned house was about.
Yeah, I know.
I'll bet there's a story there.
Oh, summer quarantine for smallpox.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's. So some of them we can skip altogether too, because there's 2 on this street that are similar, right? Or am I making that up? No. maybe.
I mean, that one's sort of similar to 3. I mean,
Wait.
3 and 4 look a little bit alike, but
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
yeah. Except I think 3 has a little more detail going forward as far as like the little porch.
Yeah,
This one has the vinyl siding.
yeah.
So additional. History that's in Macris that wasn't on this one. Later owners included Gardner Chase, William Abbott, and the Hayward Woolen Company, all of whom were major landlords at various times in the history of East Douglas. It's a stupid little line, but it's one of those.
Where do you see that?
Probably true for
It's-
a lot of places in East Douglas if they were.
Not. It was on the Macris history, not
okay.
on the.
Marsh.
If they were major landlords, they probably, I know a few of the people mentioned here even
Yeah.
owned mine at some point.
Yeah, I'm
so
just saying. Like, I'm just saying
They
that.
probably own the whole neighborhood.
I just don't know if like.
Like Hayward, gee, I would think they owned my whole street at one point in time.
Well, we could always do, okay, so in there, they would do properties, like, okay, you know how we talked about the North Streets, 31 through 37, doing them as a group of housing?
Yeah.
We just do 3 and 4 as a group.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We
do that.
We combine 3 and 4 as a single, and we do it as an architectural.
Kind of like the way we're doing it for the ones on North Street that all
Yep.
look alike.
Does
except we
everybody-
have different
Yeah.
ones,
Does
right?
everybody like that idea?
Sure.
fine by me.
Then we have 5A Street. This is like a little guy. Mid-19th century. Oh, I had like a question on this one when I did it. Which my little asterisk there. They have a 5B, and I had no idea that building is not in Macris, so it's not really addressed. So I don't know if it's contributing or not contributing. But there's a second house
Second.
on that lot.
Oh,
So I was
who,
trying to
per-
figure out-
Per the town?
For 5A, well, just
5B
visually,
A Street
there's
owns
two
a
houses
confusing
there.
address.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how the town has it, But-
I'll go to the town right now.
they have 5A Street and then 5BA Street.
Yeah, so there's an L to
So
the
it's like
rear,
a
so maybe
sep-
that became a house.
Yeah, it looks like it's like a separate, like this is actually a photo. Okay, so this is like 5A Street, and then there's a little building in the back. This is the little building in the back. So that has a big B on it. And there's no information like whatsoever on 5B. So I don't know when it was built. I don't know if it contributes. So that was a question I had when I was going over these originally.
The Balcom block is mentioned, and just because, you know, there was some property exchange, but that's, I don't know, this one to me is not that exciting. It could maybe be skipped.
Oh, which one? Which one is it?
I'm on 5A Street.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, okay, if 5A
The
Street's,
Willis House.
if 5A Street's kind of difficult to begin with, we could easily just kind of
Omit it.
omit it to begin with.
From the narrative.
And from
It'll still
either
be
narrative.
part- it'll
It's,
still
it's,
part.
all the properties are in the
Including,
are
even
in
if
the
they're
district,
not.
whether they're
Okay.
contributing, non-contributing, part of the narrative, not part of the narrative, they're all in the district.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we just exclude it from the narrative.
Yeah.
You're getting the Hamilton treatment.
Then we have 6A Street,
McLean Bonneville.
my daughter's favorite house. She's
Oh,
always
really?
like, I love that house. Every day we take a walk, she's like, I love that house. I want to live in that house. I'm like, oh, okay. She loves their fish pond out front. She's always like, such a beautiful house. So.
There's a picture of the bringer, and sometimes the barbering. Those are a weird combination.
Interesting. Yeah, right. They were a jack of all trades.
Master of None.
Yeah.
And it's got pediments
Oh.
and stuff, which is kind of nice. I think they did just redo it.
They did, it's a different color now.
Yeah.
It's greenish.
So do we want a new photo there?
We would need a new photo.
Okay, so you're
And it-
marking those?
It also might be different siding.
I think it is, because
I
I think they
think
changed,
they sided
they
it.
changed the siding at the top at least.
That looks like
I
it was
noticed.
the original siding, no?
I think it was, and he used
That's
to paint
2008
it like
though?
every year. I used to
Yeah.
see them painting it every year, and then I think they might have got tired
They're
of
like,
having to do
"Screw
all
this."
that. Yeah, which I don't blame them. That's a lot of work.
Let's see, what does Google give us? Yep, it looks like, sugar cookies, come back.
And
Yeah, it looks like per Google. Help me out, Sarah, that looks like siding now, doesn't it?
yeah, it does. I think it is siding. Yep.
Okay, so 6 is gonna need,
I think the underneath part that's under the
The
porch
porch
is
is
still the
still the
same,
same.
but I think they sided the rest of the building.
yep, yeah. Did we decide whether it's historical or? I think it fits more into architectural. Just houses similar to others built at the end of the 19th.
Yeah.
Right, I don't think there's a lot of, a story behind it. It's more of the building style, but it's
Right.
a little bit on the edge. Because I grabbed this because I was trying to see like how many properties do they really talk about? You know, are we aiming for 20%, less?
Right.
There are approximately 60 plus architectural narratives. There are well over 100 plus properties that are included in the historical narrative.
Wow.
I counted.
Wow.
Oh, wow, okay. 60, wait a minute, 60 in the historical?
No, in the
60 in
architectural.
architectural.
And how many in historical?
Over 100 plus.
Okay.
There are 277 contributing. Now, what ends up happening, and I think this is where I missed counting, is if they had like 4 of like a style,
Yeah.
they included them together, and I
Right.
might have only counted it as
Right.
one. And it
Right.
might have been 4 properties, but I was counting more the lines than I was counting,
Oh.
because if you look, you can see they underlined them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I counted, one line. So it might have been 4 properties, and then after I counted, I realized.
So about a little less than half with historical and like a quarter with architectural. Something just for a ballpark.
Yep. But something we've got to remember when we're dealing with A Street, B Street, Gilbo, North, those are very much the mill streets.
Mm-hmm.
So if
You're gonna have more on those.
if we're looking for a historical narrative,
Mhm.
those are where the historical narratives are going to be.
Okay,
I don't think you're going to see as much up on Depot.
right.
Do you know,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if we're trying to tell a story,
Of
we need to
Douglas.
think of the streets, Cook Street.
Mm-hmm.
Two baby. I'm with caffeine today.
Oh, go get some in the kitchen.
It's too late. I'd be up all night.
Where,
Right.
where was the railroad? This is like Depot Street and then Railroad Street's in the back, right? But
Yeah.
where was the
It's
railroad?
way up.
Yeah?
It's almost at the end of Depot.
Okay.
Like kind of where it just sort of
Stops.
turns into a nothing. Yeah. Like
That was
Yeah,
the
turns
train
into a dead
station.
end.
Tiny,
Oh.
like Martin, I think it's a little bit past the playground.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think.
Is it past the playground? Is it before the playground?
Is it before the playground? I'm trying to get my bearings.
I feel like it's before the playground.
Where?
What playground?
No.
The Martin Road Park or something.
Oh, I'm like off. I'm like off.
Oh
this
my god,
geography
it's
now.
before.
Is it before?
It's before.
I'm trying to.
It's before because it's I think where the tracks were.
Yes.
The little hill and
Yep.
then yeah.
Yep, yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I did not know that.
Like, because I walk down there, there's geocaches all along that.
Oh.
Have you done the geocache at the library?
No.
There's one there, just so you know.
I'm gonna have to find it.
Okay, 7A Street. Oh, this is the one that threw me a fit.
Oh, really? Oh, no.
Well, because it depending on what pictures you look at, it looks like it's 2 properties, 3 number of buildings.
Yeah. Well, I left this note here, and now I'm like trying to remember what I.
Because in
Had
89,
seen?
it looked like the houses were still joined together.
Yeah.
But by 2022, the house on the east side had been torn down based on like the
Oh.
mattress.
Oh, wow.
Hold
Because
on.
I was trying to recall. I'm like, I think I wrote that note, but I don't remember.
Because this.
And Joseph LaBelle owned it. Okay, so then it probably ended up in. They raced horses on Main Street. And as an unusual note, Joseph LaBelle is actually married to the niece of Charles Mercier, so he was actually the executor of his estate when Charles Mercier died. So I thought that was weird because they were 2 bootlegger guys, but I was like, that's how they knew each other.
Maybe.
I'm like, he was married to his niece. I was like, it was kind of interesting. I was like totally floored when I saw that he was the executor of his will, because I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
bootleggers. I was like, I'm sad that I missed the days of their reign on our street. Yeah, that's funny about the second house.
But you
So you
can't.
didn't find anything in the town website?
Huh?
You didn't find, did you look in the town, you were gonna look in the town website?
About.
That's 5B A Street.
No, it didn't. It just shows up as 2 buildings and you can't really tell anything about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know when B. Like the
Yeah.
write-up in
But if-
Macros is
but if-
just on A, the
But if we're
building.
not doing anything with it,
Yeah.
then I
Yeah.
don't think we need to bother. 7A, I think, is, I almost, and maybe I'm wrong, but I almost feel like a lot of these are gonna fit into an architectural narrative of how Douglas has a lot of this style, and this style that then becomes a vernacular. It's a vernacular mix of these styles, and this house kind of fits into this vernacular version of colonial. And this one fits into the vernacular version of Second Empire. Like,
Right.
they all are, I feel like that's going to very much be the architectural narrative.
Okay.
Does that make
So
sense?
we could really group those together, and we could almost do like subheadings, and like this is the Second Empire, this is the, I don't think we have any Victorians, but like whatever the styles are, we can put them together.
And
I like that idea.
seven got new vinyl siding recently in the last year, and the windows were replaced, but they were replaced with ones that look like what's in this photo. So-
Okay, because July 2023, this was the photo.
Yeah, it's blue now. It's like
Okay.
a dark blue vinyl with, the windows are all replaced, but they look, well, I kind of watched them replacing them, so, but they look pretty much, they did the same style with the same, like,
Yeah.
pins across the top, so.
I mean, we just
It's
had
like
our
very in keeping with what it looked like before, but.
we just had our windows replaced, and you wouldn't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
that's
Oh, wow.
fun.
Cool.
Okay, so 8 is technically contributing. It is a very boring ranch. I do not think it is. I do
It
not.
doesn't tell our
It's a nice-
narrative. If we
it's a
were doing
pretty
a
ranch.
mid-century
Yeah,
story,
right.
but we're not.
It is a lovely mid-century ranch, though.
Yes.
Because I just, to
Adorable.
me, it doesn't.
Okay, that's fine.
You are removed from the narrative.
Great.
9A Street looks like it has a story.
Yeah, that is a nice
Getting a
house. I
I'm
like
cracking
their,
my neck from
I like
you
their
know.
porch.
I'm
Oh, no.
sorry. I was trying to make them all fit on one page.
I'm trying to decide if it's me or not. Like every time someone's like, "Can you see if someone's coming?" I'm like,
Oh,
"Turn
no.
around."
I do like this house.
It's funny the amount of houses in town that were used as like saloons and bar rooms to me.
Yeah, along A Street was especially like,
Yeah.
that was like the
Well, they were
the
like, we're gonna
neighborhood
sneak
in
the booze
in
through
the
your
dry
tunnel.
town, yeah, right. That was the neighborhood in the dry town, seriously.
Yeah.
Honestly,
yes.
I feel like 9A is both. I think it's historical and architectural. You know how we said that there's a couple that are going to
Yeah,
fall
yeah.
into both?
Yeah.
One, because it ends up being the Victorian eclectic that we said there aren't much of. I think this one could very much fit into Fatty LaBelle.
Right? I just love that.
So my suggestion on 9 is that it's both.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I like that.
And we can figure out a way to make it. And,
What about a photo? I think that one looks fine, but I just don't happen to know if it's changed.
The house looks very much like that photo, but,
Okay.
I mean, we could take another one if you wanted to.
No, we don't need
Oh,
to do
that's
more than we
Connie's
have to
house.
do.
don't forget, we've also talked about, do we want photo if it's in nicer weather too?
Right.
We have talked about that.
Let's see, what was the weather there?
That was winter.
No, it's winter, but it's fully covered, so I don't think we need to qualm about it. I think that one's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it looks okay unless we don't want one without snow, but I don't know what we'd get now if we took one, because
Hey,
I don't know if the grass is
it was
really
snow
come out yet.
today.
Yeah, right, we might get exactly the same photo, right?
Can I tell you, I woke up and Jed's like, I had to bring Colin to the dentist, and he's like, you're gonna have a pretty ride down 16. I go, what do you mean? He's like, look outside. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, 13A. Oh, wait. 11A is non-contributing.
Oh.
12A is non-contributing.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm just letting everybody know, like, there's a reason why.
Yeah, I
we're-
wouldn't have known there was anything missing.
Yep. So we go to 13.
Okay. The light green.
It doesn't have much of a historical story.
Hi.
Architecturally, maybe, because like, it says that the architect that made it was A.F. Jones, and that he had built a lot of the houses in the area. So I think maybe architecturally it fits
Yeah.
because of that.
We could make it part of he might be a part of the story.
Yeah.
Him
Yeah.
himself.
Right. I know at one time, part of our neighborhood, I can't remember where it was, but somewhere in that area, one of those side streets was called Jones Court because it had so many A.F. Jones houses on it.
Okay.
So I don't remember where that was, but we'll probably see that because I'm sure I read it somewhere in the descriptions
Did
when I
that,
was.
that cross the street, right? 13 crosses the street.
Yeah, 13 is like on the other end of A Street, like.
Do you
so-
think that's still what it looks like?
Yeah. Yep.
Do we like that one, or do we want?
It's not too bad. I mean, because you either get the full bushes or you get
Honestly?
the sticks.
And this,
I guess it takes your preference, whichever
this
you
one,
like.
this one's got the satellites on it.
Yeah,
And I would really
this
prefer
one
not to
doesn't.
have the satellite dishes
Right.
if we can help it.
So we'll go with the photo for that one then.
Okay.
That one's fine. And then this is
You know they
another-
don't take satellites off. You have to take them off yourself.
And then you have to
Right.
dispose of them yourself, and you can't, like, they're.
And you can't get rid of them. I had one on the side of my house, but thankfully when they re-roofed, they knocked it off, and I think they took it away because it was gone.
I have one
I was
on
like,
my
well,
house,
it's gone.
And they were like, yeah, we don't take those off.
Yeah, I
I'm
couldn't
like,
get anyone, like, when the person that had, like, the dish TV or whatever moved out, I tried to, like, have it removed, and they were like, oh, no, we don't take those back. I'm like, okay, but then when we re-roofed, I was like, oh, problem solved.
Was that one, the one we just looked at, was that in
13.
AF Jones?
Yes.
I'm gonna put AFJ next to him,
Okay.
and maybe, so if anybody's.
Like, as we go along, call out the F. Jones, and we can make that one whole group, maybe?
I'm thinking that he might be worth doing a narrative.
Because even 15
Well,
was him.
that's
Yeah.
why I just.
Yeah, right, and it's like a totally different style house, but still him.
Yeah.
Is that what that house looks like now?
Yeah, I think they re-sided. They did some,
In 2023, it's what it looked like. It just faded.
Okay. That is kind of cute. I like those little shingles.
It was much brighter. Wow, did it fade?
Wow, really? Holy moly, yeah, it looks like a different color green now.
But it's just fading.
Yeah, wow.
And this is why I don't want siding. This is why we have brick and clapboard, because I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
well, we've got, our house is red. I'm like, if that thing was sided, that thing would,
Right.
it would be pink.
Yeah, right.
I do not
Want to
want,
live in a pink and brick house?
I do not want pink. I am not a pink girl.
It's just not who you are.
No, I am not pink.
I would not want to be in a pink house either. I always thought it was like funny that the house across the street from me is like peach. I'm like, that's a very odd color for a house, but now I get to see if the new owner paints it a different color.
Okay, so
Like,
you
why do
made
they
a
have
note
a
on this
peach
one.
colored
This house is largely structurally the same, but the small enclosed porch on the left side of the building mentioned has been opened up, and the two small windows on the upper floor have the same side have been removed. You made a huge, that's you.
Yeah, it is, but I'm like, what?
So we probably need a new photo.
Do we have a, you know what I might have, you know what I was comparing was the photo from, it wasn't the 2008 photo. The photo I had was the one that was in Macris.
Okay,
So I was comparing the Macris photo to today's photo. 'Cause
Okay.
what I did is I pulled up Macris on one side and Google Street on the other. And so anything I was mentioning is like
okay,
the 1989
okay.
photo doesn't
And
match.
because I've got this one, I'm looking, okay.
Yeah, so
nope.
you're good. You've got the new
Okay,
you've got the new photo there. You're good.
nope, okay, that makes sense.
A lot of these you'll probably get confused because I was looking at 1989 versus today.
And you know what? I did the same thing, but because of the way I did it, my brain is focusing on this one.
Right. Yeah, they have.
I
So-
like the historical.
But the historical's not even about the house, it's about the family. I mean, we're assuming that the black ship, oh my God, the blacksmith and paint shops were somewhere right near there, but that's an assumption.
Yeah, where were they?
The problem is you don't know.
Yeah.
Let me see if,
Oh, that's so weird. It says her brother-in-law got the land where the shops were along with the other land nearby, and in 1958 he erected a new house and garage not far from the Boys Club paint shop.
okay, so did she say who the brother-in-law is?
Oh boy.
James Brennan.
Brennan?
Okay, let's see here. Like I said, I do feel bad. I just want to fix all of his,
Yeah.
like James Brennan, like,
Like, who are we talking about?
so if I put in Brennan, that's the only time his name shows up.
Oh, no kidding.
Um,
So we don't even know anything else about him.
The boys.
How about Douglas Boys Club?
That's where I was going next. And it's only mentioned twice, and those are the two times it's mentioned.
Huh. Wow.
So, I mean,
it's an interesting history, but it's almost hard to like
you
relate it to
you can't
something.
relate it necessarily.
To this house.
The only thing that we can say definitely about this house is it's similar to houses right around the same time.
It's up to you
wait.
guys.
Hold on. Frank Sorrow's another name that was
Oh yeah,
used.
let's try that.
once. Used once, right there.
Wow. So they told us a bunch of stuff about people in a place, but we don't really know.
Marsh, sometimes you are not my friend.
It's like, how could you leave out that bit? Where was it?
Like, that's the problem. Like, he gives a ton of information and then he leaves gaps like this.
Right? And it's like, we're not sure where you're talking about.
So, excuse me.
Could you tell us?
So I guess the question becomes, do we keep it as historical? Do we put it historical with a question mark? I don't think it counts as architectural.
No.
Historical big question mark?
Yeah. Because
I liked how it
I mean, I
kept-
liked it at first, and then you get to the bar, and it's like where they were nearby, and it's like, oh, so that's not this actual property wasn't that.
We're not 100% sure.
Yeah, we're not sure
Yeah.
where,
Like, maybe it
where
was,
they're
maybe it
talking
wasn't.
about.
We don't know.
Unless we could find out the last time the blacksmith shop was used was as an automotive repair shop by some of the Michnas.
Oh my God,
Does that give us anything?
Michna, like
Can
that.
we guess where Michna's automotive shop was, and then we might know
Unfortunately, I think Michna's the name that's going to come up like,
a million times, and then we'll,
yeah, let's see.
then we'll be
Michna.
having the opposite problem that we're
16.
having now.
Okay.
16 instances? No. Or
Yeah.
16,
Okay, so
Yeah.
B Street or Mumford Street, we've got now John Michna's with nope.
Automotive repair
It's
shop.
funny, it went from blacksmith to auto repair. Like from
Right?
horses to cars.
The problem is we don't know if they're actually referring to
To
that
this
exact
house,
property.
right? Or if he's just saying what they did somewhere else. Because it says land nearby, so I don't know what nearby
Nope.
means. So
No.
I guess that's kind of ambiguous. I don't know. We might want to.
I think that is historical with big question marks is we feel like we need to fill in some blanks
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
with a possible cross off otherwise.
Right.
Yeah.
If we can't really figure out where they mean.
Yep. All right.
Colors look so different, where one looks like black shadows and the other one looks burgundy.
Okay, 17 is contributing.
The lighting? Or my
Yeah, I think it's just the
tricks?
lighting.
41.
I would
so it's
I would
like,
skip this one.
I was gonna be like, it looks like a.
It's the cape is not, you know, part of the story, and there's not a lot of history. I just skip it.
Okay.
No picture, huh?
An 18, no picture.
Yeah.
To name my house, it could always have a name.
Right.
So 17 we're not doing.
Yeah.
Yep, 18 I did not have a picture, and like I said, I wasn't searching. So let's see what 18 A Street brings up on Google.
They look
This.
like they have lily pads. Like giant lily pads.
Okay.
It kind of looks similar to some of the other ones in that little stretch.
Yep.
Yeah.
They removed the ornamental bracket since 1989, and the Victorian hood has been replaced with an enclosed front porch. Is that 18? Can I see that photo again? I think this was.
Nope, that was, hold on. I put in 18 and it brought
And it brought you to somewhere else. I'm
Yep.
like, let's see.
Hold on. Is this 18?
This is 18. That's what I have that as 18 too. What you just showed me, I'm looking on Google Maps as well.
You know what? Let me try.
I see the 18 on the house.
You know what I don't like? The, okay. Per,
Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. I mean, it's a nice house. Let's see
what do you say? I had to go to the
Year.
assessor.
That's one we don't have a photo of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay, but there's,
I mean, it's had,
nothing.
according to my note, it's had changes since 1989, and they took off the ornamental brackets and enclosed the porch. Or they replaced with an enclosed front porch,
I
which
mean,
spans the length of the front.
I feel like I don't even think it fits with the, like,
Yeah.
with the built at the same time as others.
Yeah.
It's just a
Okay.
front gabled vernacular like
We can-
every
we
other.
can skip it, I guess.
yeah,
Skip.
we'll be glad we did.
This 19, this one, I literally had to like stare at the photo twice, and I thought it was a different house because it was so changed.
Huh.
So there was like, the windows are different from the 1989 photo.
Yeah. Sorry.
The
Did you
open
put these-
porch is gone. There's, there was a door with side lights, which has been replaced. Some of the windows have been removed or resized.
Is the porch
And
still
some
there?
have
It
been
looks like
added.
it's a little, close to sad.
Hold on a sec. I can.
I think they added a, it's like total, like, yeah, if you can pull up Macris for
Whoa.
1989.
In the. Is
And
that
that's-
a real tree that's there right now?
Yeah, there's
Is it
like
this one?
There's like a big tree. Yeah, so. But I don't think this is what it. When was this photo taken?
2008.
Okay. All right, so I
Well,
think
now they
it's
have a really
it's even-
overgrown tree.
It's even more different
Wow.
than this 2008 photo, though. I don't know when the changes were done, but it's even more different
You
than
can't see that
this.
at all.
Yeah.
Because like, if you can go, is that Google Street? Go like to the side, like try to walk by it and then like look back, like see the difference on the side. All right, now go back a little bit so you can see.
Oh, God.
Getting dizzy, all right? Try to go up a little. There you go. Like, see how you can see like like they changed the siding, the two
Like-
windows are gone, and there's a little
Yeah.
window in the middle.
And a little
those
window
top
up.
ones are changed, and there's a little one at the top.
Yeah.
So they actually changed it.
I see what she's saying.
They changed it
I
quite
got
a
one from
bit.
2013.
Yeah, there you go.
When they, oh, look, when they're doing
In
that
process.
work.
Yeah, right. So it's like in the middle of, but it's like all of this like isn't like
Yeah,
this.
look at-
This part of the porch has been enclosed and turned into like a room, and then on the side, like these two windows are smaller, and then there's a littler one up above, and then these two windows are gone, and there's a little one in the middle. So that one had so many changes that I literally like had to look it up and
Well, can we just,
You know.
yeah, let's just not use this one, right? It's
Yeah.
not
yeah.
that important to our story.
Right. That one was one of the ones that had a lot of changes. So.
And nothing historically is important, and architecturally, it's a house.
Yeah.
Right.
So 28th Street is from the 1920s, which is in the second mill period, but
Right.
I don't know how
it's-
much we need a bungalow.
It reflects the 1920s building trends. Well, I mean, it is a nice example of a bungalow because it says
Yeah.
it's architecturally
And
unchanged.
The other thing is,
Yeah.
it was Pascal Colinero built it, and I think that's the name,
We'll see.
Architect name that we're gonna say?
town name.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my neighbors too. Yeah. There's a few of them in town. Yeah. All right, so let's keep it for the architectural rather.
I'm not sure which, but we're gonna keep, and we'll
We'll do an A and H question mark.
Yeah.
A or H,
A.
not both.
Because it's a nice bungalow. Plus, you're right, it has a little bit of history of who owned it, so. Okay.
And I think the thing is, we're gonna start seeing the bungalows popping up.
Yeah, like as
And
we
this
get
might
into
be
that
one of the
time period.
first bungalows
Yeah.
in town.
Yeah.
And then 21, we got another A.F. Jones house over here.
Okay, thank you.
I'll call out the A.F. Jones houses.
We figured we might,
Jones
Mr.
House number 7.
Right? This is Jones house number 7, so that means we have at least 6 other ones to get find.
It's similar to many others.
But
in
better
East Douglas.
preserved than most and lacks the common vinyl siding.
Oh, did 20 or 21 need pictures?
20
20 we
No,
decided.
I don't think so.
Yeah. That one, it's a nice picture, but it is snow, so I guess it's,
It looks fine. I mean,
it looks nice.
Change.
Yeah.
It's decent.
Okay.
21 is decent
21
too.
is pretty good too.
Okay, just, we hadn't, and we forgot to,
Yeah.
so I just wanted to double check.
Yeah, those look okay.
Okay.
Let's see, 23. Replaced an earlier one which burned in 1925. Mirrors the house next door and presumably the original one on the site. Cross gabled.
Okay, so this might be worth keeping for historical
The Jones Catholic
because
house.
of that.
Oh. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting little piece of history.
Yeah.
Even though it's not the,
Well, Saviano is a famous name in town, but who's Angelo?
I believe he might have been the original patriarch of that family.
Okay, so like the father or grandfather.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that one's
No.
interesting in the history of it, so.
Even if not the house, the site.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, so let's keep it for, well, probably historical, but
Possibly architectural being
Yeah.
other working class houses.
Yeah, right. This one I thought was really interesting, that it used to be a cider mill. I
Oh,
think, you know what
yes.
we could even do?
Okay.
I think I've got some pictures of it, like
Really?
the original
Oh, no way.
from Mr. Yacino. I think brought me some
Oh,
pictures
yeah.
at the archive. I've
Oh,
got
wow.
pictures.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I thought that was a really interesting history. It reminds me though, like there's
that
a
one
couple
that's
of
farther
houses
back?
in town that used to be something
feel like I've
else.
never seen it in
Like
my life.
there's one that used to be a
Yeah,
chicken
it's, like,
coop,
way
there's one that
far
used to be
off the road,
a
and then
slaughterhouse,
there's that little,
there's
like,
this
dead-end
one. It would
private
be interesting to make a
part of the
grouping of
street.
them, like for
Okay,
like the
okay,
interesting
yeah, yeah.
reuse of like other types of buildings.
Historical reuse architectural.
Yeah.
We'll put them as kind of all.
Right. Because I think that it's interesting that, you know, there's like this that was a cider mill, and then I don't even know, did we include Wickstead Court? Because I think the one that was
No.
the chicken coop is on
No, we
Wickstead.
cut it off.
We
Okay.
cut
we
it
did?
because if we did, it was the only property on
Oh, and it
Wickstead
only went-
was all the
okay.
way at the back, and we had to include like 15
Oh, no.
properties
Yeah.
to get
Okay,
to
so
it.
I guess we'll skip the chicken coop house, but
But no, that's what happened with that one. Is it ended up being we would have had to include
like a bunch of non-contributing, yeah. Okay.
just to get to
I get it.
that one property.
That's okay. But we do have the slaughterhouse one still. I think that one's on, what, Gilboa maybe?
And I think this picture is still a pretty good one that we've got. Maybe we could look at getting one in the nicer weather, but the one we've got
Yeah.
isn't bad.
I wish the historical description was a little longer. We got one sentence.
But I mean, we can make them longer.
Yeah,
This is
okay.
this is what we
What Marsh
had
had, okay.
based on Marsh.
Sure. I think it's a really interesting house, so I definitely would want to include
Yeah.
it, especially for its adaptive reuse.
Okay.
Because I think adaptive reuse is very interesting.
$26A. It's a house.
It's weird that this. On one sec.
Colonial Revival, which I think we
It's
have a
weird
lot
because
of.
why do we have the same
I
history thing here and there?
It's saying that Frank Yacino sold the land to John Bombara. That's what it is.
I
It's-
get you. Okay,
It's
all right.
letting you know who sold the
Oh, all
land
right.
to John.
Oh, I get you.
It's
Okay.
the sentence before.
Right, so we didn't start the sentence with he and we all go who?
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
It's always tough trying to do those because you're like trying to make sure the information's
Right.
included. I'm fine excluding 26.
Okay, no problem.
The only thing is like the windows have vertical muntins, a common form in Douglas during this time period,
And
but I don't think
That's not enough, I don't
There's
think.
another house that has those same windows, one of the ones that we already did. The one that had just had the windows replaced, but I was like, oh, it's okay, they replaced
Yeah.
it similar.
But I don't think it's enough to like be like, ooh, we need
Yeah.
to.
Right.
Okay. On 2 B Street.
These were so interesting when I was looking at them. There was in the 1989 thing, none of them had porches and doors on the front. They only each had 2 side doors. But then like
Yeah, 'cause
all
now
3
they're-
of them
now
added,
they're-
yeah, each one of them now has a set of stairs in the front. But in 1989, none of them did. So I thought that was very
I
strange.
think B Street we kind of handle like
As-
North Street, and we
Yeah,
handle
like one
as
group for those
as a-
3 mill houses.
Yep. And we
I
can
agree.
either do it as architectural or as narrative. I'm thinking maybe more as narrative and maybe throw a little bit in the architectural section, but I think the
Yeah.
historical narrative is going to be the more important
Right.
aspect for them.
And I think all 3 of them can go as a group because they're very similar.
So it's 1, 3,
And 5.
Look at us breezing through here.
right.
Got 3 done at once.
Photos?
Let's see, so I think this one looks about the same as it did. One of these has a new staircase, but
So this one,
and
Is it
I
a
wrote
different
still
color?
still present on the. One of them's white. I don't know if the one on the end
one
is
B
yellow
Street,
anymore.
no, it's not.
Did they
This
change
is-
it?
Yeah,
What did I
B
do?
Street's got a new color.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
That's-
one on the end.
yep, it's
Yep.
gray.
And I think they just did a new staircase on this one too, like just this year. So maybe we want to do that one, just a new photo.
Maybe
of
if we're,
one.
maybe, depending, we might also be able to get a photo of
like
all 3 of them.
Oh yeah, I bet you could if you stood at the
I
right
bet,
spot.
I bet you could because on Google Maps, if you're facing the right way, all 3 show.
So, yeah, maybe try and get all 3 together.
Yeah, if we just stand on the street corner and face the right way, we should hopefully be able
Here,
to.
look. See, if you stand.
Oh yeah, right. And that's
Well,
awesome because
If
it's
if
like you
we
get
do
the
it
whole
while there's
row.
no leaves.
right. We better go do it now before they leaf out.
Right. Or in the fall.
Otherwise, we're waiting until fall. Right. It's now or in the fall. And this is interesting, 9 because it's a brick federal house.
I feel like 9 is actually both. I feel like 9
Oh,
fits
okay.
as
It's got a huge history.
yeah.
Satin Meadow.
Intriguing.
Casimir.
Oh, very interesting. Yeah, right?
I,
Failed in 1828. The mills were burned about 1830.
Yeah, with that oil that.
Wow.
Just-
Yeah, that I definitely would include in both, because that's got a cool history.
Justin was asking me the other day, well, how many fires were there in Douglas? I go,
Too many.
like, don't ask me, like,
Right.
there were a ton, depending.
Yeah, like how big do you?
Like, where would you like to
total
start?
loss?
Yeah. Would you like to start in the 1800s? That would be a long timeline.
This house is probably in line with my house, like if you could go through the street and it has a brick federal foundation.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they go together at all.
Right. It's interesting because it's brick, and there's not too many brick houses that I can think of.
Right.
You know, like there's this one, and then there's like that blue one on Cook Street,
Right.
and then like yours is mostly brick. So yeah, it's interesting. All right. So 9, I would say both.
Yeah, I put it as both because
Okay.
it could.
11. Let's see.
Housing for the
Tucked back on the street. Okay, so from what I could tell, it was majorly structurally altered, and I couldn't see it well from the street. But from what I could tell, it looked way different than it did in 1989.
Yeah, and
But no record of when they were built, so it could be super old or it could just have been kind of missed.
Right? And since it's way back there, probably nobody realized when it was built.
Yeah, like,
Because
"Oh,
nobody
something
could
back
see it
there."
from the street.
and the problem with this one is really fascinating history that has been the property has been drastically changed.
On
Number
11?
13?
Or
11.
11.
Yeah.
Why is it a fascinating history? I don't see much of anything.
Because it was built by for mill purposes. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It fits the narrative.
Oh, yes.
Oh, but no record of when they were built.
Is there another source we can check?
I mean, the town.
They bought
So-
it from Hayward Company. Okay.
So Macris has it as circa 1850. But I
Interesting.
mean, the building is drastically
Yeah,
different.
it's so super different.
like. I almost feel like being as drastically different as it is, it
it's almost not the
loses.
same,
It loses the narrative
Yeah.
for us.
Right.
right? I think you're right. Yeah, because I think that was one of the ones where I was like, that house doesn't look like the same house.
If it wasn't so different looking, maybe it wouldn't have lost the narrative. But
Yeah.
by changing so much,
Right.
like, does it even have the?
I don't think it even has
Has
the
the
shed
chim-
dormer in the front anymore.
The
Let's see
dormer's
if it has
gone.
the chimney or not. I don't even see a chimney there.
Nope, the chimneys are gone. I'm like, did it burn down or something?
I know. I questioned the same thing. I'm like, either they took off this part and they stuck a porch there, and then they took off their dormer and they took off their chimneys.
From that little
It does almost.
smidgen
But look
looks
at the
new.
side of the house too. Look at the difference in the
Yeah.
side. Like the windows are gone.
It's almost like it got.
It's like worlds different.
Yeah, you know what? Bye bye.
Right. Too altered. Sorry.
Yeah, well,
Or
yeah.
maybe not even the same.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
well,
or maybe
I almost
replaced.
I almost feel like it's okay. So one of the things Chris had told me in the assessor's office is like, if a corner's left standing, you
Yeah,
can
it's going to be whatever
you can
age.
rebuild it, and it could be based on the
Right.
corner that's left standing.
Yeah.
And I really feel like that's one of those situations.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
And 13, it looks like it's kind of in a similar situation where
Oh,
they've
yeah.
added a whole bunch. Like they put an attached garage. They added a chimney.
Major changes.
They did a small addition. But it looks worlds different than it looked in the previous photo. They changed the roof section.
I mean, we can always just say B Street had mill housing built by the axe mills. Leave it at that. It kind of covers
Yeah.
the historical narrative, and we don't have to include 11 and 13
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
because those houses are just, yeah, no.
Right.
Can I at least make this say left?
Had houses on this street which were removed. So maybe it's not even like the same house.
Where do you see that?
Under the historical narrative on 13B,
Oh.
like the last section. Vicinity of the shops were built as far back as 1813 by Benjamin Grigg, and it also states that the axe company or the other mills before it here, that's just how he wrote it, so I don't know what he really means, had houses on this street which were removed. It's kind of confusing because I don't know what he means by before it here, kind of.
Welcome to Marsh.
Yeah. Right.
So
What are you talking about, right?
so the Historical Society lease is actually like, you want to give a presentation about Marsh and be his disgruntled wife that hates him? And I'm like,
That's funny.
It's like, thank you for all you left us
Legit.
for history, but your grammar.
she's
is
like,
a
hearing
little-
you talk about it, you could easily pull that off.
He did leave us a lot of great history, as much as we're teasing him about his grammar, but.
He did, but at the same time, he's just such a gossip. All right, Bowen Court.
Oh, how come I ended up at C Street?
Oh,
I went from A,
Oh,
B to C.
did I
you-
forget to
did you
print? I
not
might have forgotten to print out.
us?
No, I might have forgotten to
Unless
print
it's
off.
behind there.
Nope, Bowen Court might have forgotten to get printed out.
Oh no, okay.
I'm so sorry.
I'll share with my closest neighbor here.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay, no problem. It's all right.
There was a lot to do.
Right. To Bowen Court. I like Bowen Court because I noticed that it said a lot of those houses had been moved from another area, like on Main Street.
Wow.
I'm
So
almost-
I had
yeah,
never known
same.
that, and I
I'm
thought
almost-
that was very interesting.
So I'm wondering if based on that, we could make Bowen Court
from
its
Main
own
Street.
little like
Right?
narrative,
Oh.
whether
Like its own grouping.
whether it falls under architectural or historical, but we
Yeah.
might be able to group it.
Yeah.
I thought it was very
Because there
interesting.
are some that are almost identical, you know, in the middle of the
And that
street.
they've been moved from like another, and they've got some nice houses down there too. They have like the one with the mansard and,
Mhm.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, I would have liked to see.
I would have liked to see how you move a house.
Yeah,
Right?
especially in 1800 or
and there was
Yeah.
like more than one on Bowen Court that like had been moved from Main Street, so I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because you never see old houses on a dead end street like
Yeah,
that.
right.
You know?
Yeah, and one of them it said like it was like a funny shape, but they had moved it from like a different spot, and it wouldn't have been that shape if it hadn't been in the original spot. So I'm like, oh, it's like that long skinny one they had.
Huh.
So I think those are
Market
interesting.
house.
So I'll say 2, I think, should go in that group if we do a group of ones that were moved.
Okay, so
Yeah.
far the first 3 are Greek Revival. Another Greek Revival.
I'm reading your purple notes. I know you wrote them, but I haven't read them.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I'm not going fast.
And this one mentions like Schuster or Hayward owning. I think the last one did too. So that does fit into the narrative as well. So
You've got Charles, okay, I know they've got Charles McKay on Bowen Court also.
I love that house, but it looks so sad nowadays. It's like dilapidated.
There's a lot
But
of,
that photo of it is a good photo. So if we do use it.
of dilapidated. I saw your post.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that terrible?
Oh, with your barn.
Yeah.
Wow. What was in
Yeah.
there? Anything?
Nothing. We cleaned it out like last summer, so
Oh.
like thankfully we threw away everything that had been left in there, and but sadly the building did not take well to that
Yeah.
last rainstorm we had.
Yeah,
so-
barns.
Gosh.
Right.
Yeah. It was weird because we were like out in the front yard when it happened too, and like we like heard a crack and looked over, and it was just like just caved in on itself. I'm like,
Oh my god.
yeah.
We'll have to add that to the photos.
Right? Yeah, right. So we've got a little bit of cleanup to deal with, but thankfully it was empty, and like it would have been a real mess if it hadn't been.
Yeah, yeah.
So are we doing these ones on?
I
Bowen
think
Court,
we should
like,
do those,
kinda
and
group
even
them?
5, even though 5 doesn't look
It's still
very
a
good
Greek
right now.
revival.
But
Okay,
like the
so
others.
there's-
they ripped the porch. The side porch is gone right now on this one, and this is like totally dilapidating, and it's like
Okay, so there's 8 properties, 4 of them are Greek Revival, 3 of them are Second Empire, and 1 of them's a Victorian.
Yeah.
You've got the McKays who built some of the properties and had a lot of the history there.
yeah,
Like I said, I almost feel like there's a way you can
like give
make-
it its own little.
make Bowen Court its.
Yeah,
well,
well,
aren't
aren't
those
those two
entity.
styles like Second Empire and Greek Revival? I think are like one after the other, maybe.
That's you. That's you. That. I do.
I definitely think we should like include them as some kind of.
I feel like Bowen Court we can kind of make work.
Yeah, they cross over. Second Empire, according to Google, 1852 to 1870, and Greek Revival, 1820 to 1860. So Greek Revival first, but it crosses over. And then Victorians. And then I guess Victorians after that.
I think we can. I think there's a way we can make this as kind of its own narrative area.
Okay.
I don't know how.
And I think like the houses that belong to the Undertaker is like kind of an interesting piece too.
Is that McKay?
Bowen,
Hey.
Mr. Bowen,
Oh, Bowen.
Francisco, and Joseph were Undertakers. So I thought that
All right, let's go
was
call this
interesting.
the work right back.
I thought that was interesting. It was kind of like their family business.
Yeah, 6 and 10 were done by McKay,
And
which
somewhere I have a photo of Joseph Bowen in front of his shop with his two. They had like a shop that used to be on Main Street that was like the carriage maker, the
No,
undertaker.
it wasn't
and
on Main
something
Street.
else.
It was behind the
Oh,
Methodist
okay.
church. It was
Yeah,
Mechanic
right.
Block.
Yeah, that's
So-
right. Okay.
So when the Central Block fire happened and it burned down the Methodist
Oh,
church,
yeah.
half of Mechanic Block got burned down.
Oh. Ah, okay. Yeah, that's where it was. Okay. Because I had a picture. It was like a stereo card of like the people standing on their porch, and like there was people up in the windows. It was really cool. That was kind of neat. It's too bad that's gone.
So like I said, I think we try to make Bowen Court kind of its own.
Yeah, I think it has such an interesting, like, both architecturally and historically, an interesting story to tell.
And you've got it's almost got its own two periods. You've got like the first part with the Bowen and all of that, and then the
Yeah.
McKay family came in, which is the two later properties.
Yeah.
And people kind of moved into the McKay
Right.
family moved into that area at that time.
And then we have the houses that were relocated to there, so it's, oh, boy,
Yeah.
they really blurred something. What was that? A
I
striker?
don't, I don't know. It's the house.
Like blurring the house. That's so weird. Why would they do that?
I've never seen
I
that.
didn't know, me neither.
I looked up 10 Bowen Court.
Oh, so what
How does
happens
blur the
is
house?
if you report it that like you're in the picture or
Oh,
something,
really?
they will blur the house, and then
way.
once that happens, that property can never become
What?
unblurred.
No way, really? My dad's in mine adjusting my gutter on a ladder, like on Google Street, which I crack up every time I see it. I sent it to him and I'm like, you're famous.
Yeah, so I'd seen it done on another one, and I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I didn't know. I've seen people walking down the street and then you go to the next view and like
And they're
half their it's
they're
just
gone.
their dog's butt.
Yeah, right. Right.
Where's the dog's head?
Right. Oh my god. Yeah, I've never seen a house blurred like that.
Me
That's so
neither.
strange.
so one
Were
of
they,
the
like,
ones on
their
Pleasant,
porch?
one of them. So I think also like, or if somebody just doesn't want their house shown,
Oh,
they'll
okay.
do it.
Oh, interesting. Wow, I never knew that.
Because one of the ones on Pleasant Street's done it also.
Oh, really? I think it's hilarious because my dad ended up in
Oh,
the
is
one
that
on
the
mine.
last one on the left?
Yeah. All the way down the end. I guess they did not want to be photographed.
It's the Masters weekend. I keep checking Masters scores.
Oh.
Hey, the fact that I am here and
It's
not
what?
sitting on my couch watching the Masters,
Oh, yeah.
everybody should
What's the Masters?
golf.
Oh.
It's my happiest weekend of the year. I count down to
You're a
this.
golfer?
Yes, and I count down to this weekend every year.
Alright, let's cross the road and go down
Take
to my house. We're gonna take a walk to my
I
house.
thought the package store was supposed to be demoed by now.
That's so. I was looking into the minute. I was on the town website trying to find. I got a notice that there was that there was going to be a meeting.
Yeah.
There's no minutes from said meeting.
What? Is their minute taker just slow? Because some of the minute takers do the minutes like from the video later. Like they don't go to the meeting and take the minutes, so sometimes it takes them a little
Oh,
while.
maybe.
So that could be
I didn't.
why.
I was like, where do I find these videos? Oh, look, a bus.
Oh, do you want to find the video? It should be on YouTube.
Go
On
to
YouTube.
Douglas-
go to the
Okay.
YouTube
Access
cable
YouTube.
access. Pat's usually very good.
Yeah, he usually has it up like the next day. So.
Oh my God, my
Ex-
grandma's Camry.
Oh.
That's been long since totaled by my little cousin.
Oh, really? Oh,
Wow, look at that. That's before I paved my driveway.
no. Oh, wow.
So it's so funny if you go to my house.
See, now we can
trash
like
day.
see all our hard work, right?
So our house is hysterical because you've got our house, right? This is it right now. This is it before. Then if we go, how can I? I'm trying to do.
Oh, if you like go
Hold on.
over and go back,
Yep, hold on.
it'll
Okay,
change.
so, right? Okay, so this is it. And if you keep going, you go by the poplar. Now the addition's been added.
Oh my gosh, oh, that's funny.
Pre-addition,
Oh, wow.
post-addition.
That's so
Wow.
weird.
So this
Isn't that crazy?
Right?
this tree here
They did it obviously on different times.
Oh,
and
wow.
this tree here are finally coming
Oh,
down.
wow. Oh, really?
They're
oh, wow.
poplars. They're both over
Oh.
200 years
Oh
old,
my goodness.
but they're dying.
Yeah,
And
right, it gets dangerous.
I'm calling I feel like I'm calling the highway department 4 times a year, being like, we got
'Cause
another.
they're like falling in the road and stuff.
I'm like, we got another branch.
We should use this picture.
Is the other one not?
Yeah, it's a
is it
nice-
currently not?
That's a nice
So
photo.
my mom owns this house. There is like a fence thing put up right here where they were doing things, and there's
Everything okay?
Yeah, oh yeah, it was a quick
just
call
just a much
near the
better
bathroom.
picture.
So
And now they have. You can see it in the Google Street View. They have like this.
Oh, like a
weird
fence?
chicken
Yeah.
wire stuff put
Oh.
up. So this picture looks a lot nicer.
It looks nice.
Where are we? We are on 2C Street.
All right.
I like that house. It's Gothic revival, so
Yeah.
there's not too many Gothic revivals, I don't think.
At all in the
So-
world.
No, and I feel
I think we
like
need to
so
include that
I have,
architecture.
Hey, and this one we've got A.F. Brown.
and I have a. It's
Belle Sheldrick. That's gonna be my pseudonym if I write a book.
What is it?
Belle Sheldrick.
Oh, interesting.
The names are so funny.
Right? It's a perfect pen name. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
We won't
which
tell them we
window
knew it
is
was
very
you.
weird.
Yeah, I love that window. It's so cool. You don't see those too often.
So
So,
do
I was
we-
like, I had noticed that and I was like, that's super cool.
Yeah, but the picture we should use the one that we have.
So we want to
Yeah.
go architectural on this one.
Yeah, I think, because Gothic revival, I don't think there's too many of those. Plus
Nope.
it has the witch window.
Oh my God, you you just highlighted. and
I know I accidentally.
No, it's fine. I
I
just
won't
was.
delete anything.
I wasn't expecting it. All of a sudden, it like popped up on this. I'm like,
No, I accidentally clicked and it just.
me.
I'm getting used to this weird new little ThinkPad computer thing, and I don't like it.
Oh.
I'm so used to it now.
Me and
Is it a think? Is yours like a?
Because I don't
Google
know
Doc?
how many,
I
it said there
I don't know,
are
is it
one of the
different?
few examples
just
of Gothic
weird. Yeah, I
architecture,
don't
but I don't know
like
how many
these.
other
We
Gothic
used to-
architecture
my
ones we
mouse.
had.
Yeah.
But
I used
don't
the
forget,
mouse, like for a while when that wasn't working, I had a separate mouse. I couldn't do it.
oh, so in college I had a laptop. When I came home for the summer after my freshman year, we had a desktop in the house, and I couldn't do it.
Oh, no.
And I actually had to buy a keyboard that had the trackpad because I didn't know, like, I could not use a
no.
real.
That's funny. Oh
Like,
my God.
I hated a mouse. I'm like,
When I switched to a desktop, I was doing this on the desk, and I'm like, mine's so dumb.
no, I actually bought a keyboard that had the because I'm like, I can't do this.
That's a good idea, right? I know, it's like if you get used to one and then you have to switch to the other, it's like so weird. Your brain is just like wired to do the trackpad. Yeah. It's like,
I know.
yep, I found myself doing that. I'm like using a desktop going like this, and like
I'm glad
hitting the
it's-
table. I'm like, that's not working.
Well, at the library, we have mouses for people who are like, do you need a mouse? And
Oh,
so
that's
half of
funny.
them are like, yes, I can't.
Oh, that's funny.
How
I
else
can't
did you
get
do
used
it?
to mouses when I have to like use a mouse. I'm like, oh, I'm so used to the laptop.
So we on 3?
C Street is a weird
Yeah,
street, isn't it?
and so this is my house. It's a weird house. It's not the original house.
Oh, this is yours, 3C Street.
So the original house was only half of the lower section, and it had its own top section. They ripped off the top floor of the home
Whoa.
and built all of like this, and this whole side is new. So in the
Oh.
basement, under the like closest to the road half of the house is fieldstone,
Oh.
and then there's poured concrete from like the 80s.
Oh, no way.
Huh.
Yes, see?
Oh, wow.
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 Dawn.
Oh,
That
wow.
does look very different.
Yeah, it's quite
What
different.
year is that photo?
89. This is
Oh my
mattress.
gosh.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, that doesn't even.
Yeah.
So this says others maintain the historic character better, so maybe we just skip it. You don't care, or we'll.
I think I just don't think it's anything like what it was
Yeah.
then. It's not,
And I'm looking at the
It was burned
historical,
early.
and it's like these people lived here, but it
there's
wasn't.
nothing
Yeah.
crazy.
All right, if you won't be offended,
No, no, because, and this is the weirdest thing, like when I look even on
It's lovely,
Zillow
but
or
it's not-
something, it's not the right, it says it was built at a time, like, I know people that knew people that built this house, so they
Wow.
ripped the top half of, when I bought my house, when they had done that whole renovation of the rest of the house, the front part was uninhabitable. There was like no floors, the
Wow.
ceilings.
Wow.
In my basement, there's like an actual tree for support
Oh, wow.
in that half of the house.
Wow.
And then there's a chimney from the original house
Hmm.
that's completely enclosed.
Oh, so you can
use it,
So
yeah.
you can't see
Huh.
it anywhere.
Weird. And do you
Wow.
use that side little door?
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
how you can.
Wow.
My grandmother lives in that part of the house.
Oh, nice. So you have
Hmm.
two different entrances.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not, that's not like a,
Interesting.
Yeah.
It looks, world's different.
it is definitely just not historical anymore.
Yeah.
When did
At
the
all.
changes occur?
I
Was it,
believe
like,
in the
late
80s.
well, it would have been
Which
after
makes sense.
'89 because
So
that
then the
photo's '80.
90s.
It would have been a '90s
Wow.
thing.
Okay, so yeah,
Wow.
so the people I know said maybe 80s, so it was the
Hmm.
90s.
Interesting.
Or it was literally like '89, and those pictures were taken like '88
Right,
type.
yeah.
Right.
Okay,
Wow.
maybe.
Okay.
I really don't know.
Interesting.
For C, I would say historical.
4C.
Yeah, owned by the Hayward
And
Company.
chimneys.
Stands on what was once Colonel Ezekiel's land.
Well, it's more like Lee and Murdoch. Lee and Murdoch had mills and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the names. It's more
Yeah.
than.
Theodore
And so-
Stone.
Oh, stable is just his name. It doesn't have to be stable.
Theodore Stone.
I would go
He's
with
buried in Pine Grove.
Historical.
yeah,
Why do you think
Okay.
historical?
Lee and Murdoch.
Okay.
Was a mill?
I'm pretty sure they. I think they were actually the Cook Street. I think they. 10C Street. Oh no, hold on. They were.
Character remains.
Yeah, they were the Lee and Murdoch buildings were where Hayward Landing is.
Oh.
They were big mill names.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying we should hold on to that for historical.
Okay. So especially
But can we get a new picture that doesn't have Christmas,
Christmas
lights?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And they're kind of like falling. So you've got all that for the photos and everything? Okay.
I'm on top of
I
it.
figured.
What is he talking about when he says west of the Simpson house on the same street? I don't think we haven't seen the Simpson house yet, have we? I haven't
Oh, you look
seen
for
it in the history.
I told you, don't try and figure out this man.
Right? I'm like,
I
what
keep
Simpson
telling.
house?
I keep telling you. He's.
There's a 10, okay, 10 C Street Simpson comes up again.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'll have to just keep this in mind then when I get to his house, because
Right.
I want the whole picture of
You
what's
gotta
going
remember.
on.
One thing you gotta
I
remember.
can move over here.
You gotta remember
Oh,
there
thanks.
were no street numbers.
Right,
It was all by direction and names of who
Right.
lived there.
Right, if you look at the map, that's...
Until I decided to be psychotic and put numbers to everything.
Susie Burnett.
Okay, where was I? That's a new photo. All right, so we're on 5, see?
Interesting style front door. Okay, why did I make that note? I can't even see the front door.
It probably doesn't look like that.
Right? Like, I can't see it in this photo, so I don't even know what it looked like. Right? We're getting back into those old Douglas names.
Oh, is this 5C Street?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is the front door. That's my neighbor's house. I just
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
The one on the
But
left?
the interesting front door does not appear in this photo that we have here of it. It looks very different.
Can we talk about the
It
fact
does.
that he's got the AC unit on when there's that much snow on the ground and Christmas lights are still out?
Yeah, right.
So we need a new photo either way.
Wow.
Some
Some people just run warm-blooded, I guess.
well, I mean, I know Cuppy keeps his AC running year round, but he's
Keeps it
also
running.
well, he's also on the third floor of the
Oh.
Balcon block. He's,
Okay.
Oh.
So
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
gets all the heat
Oh,
rises in that building. He's like that. His
Wow.
apartment is like 80 degrees
Oh, wow.
without,
I never realized how much warmer second floors were until like.
and he's on the third
Yeah,
floor
wow.
up there.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
Because you can go in your basement, right?
Because now that my second floor is vacant, like, I'm up there and I'm like, wow, it's warm in here, even though I don't have the heat high. You know, it's like
It's
you know, all the
weird,
heat from
right?
the first floor is going up.
this one at most I would say maybe architectural because it's the same
Oh,
as.
it's got A.F. Jones.
But it's
Oh,
as
later
our owner,
owners.
but not
Oh,
as the
weird.
builder.
Oh, okay.
This one was built in 1860-ish. I mean,
It's a
as
Greek revival, which we have some.
Yeah. It's,
I
yeah,
mean-
we can, I'm okay if we want to pass over on that one. The next one looks interesting though, because it says it was originally a barn, so that can fall into our
Oh.
adaptive reuse
Yeah, barns
story.
and tenements.
I think the adaptive reuse story would be,
Oh, wait a minute. So this is Jones Stable, which we saw, and I was thinking that was a name, but it was a stable.
so this one actually would probably be historical as well because you've got
Yeah.
Lee and Murdoch again.
Yeah.
I said so many people focus on like the axe mills that they forget there were quite a few other
yeah.
mills
Yeah.
Right.
in town that did business.
Yeah.
And stood where the Whiten Reservoir now is.
Do we think we can get a
It was-
better picture, Christy?
So this is another one that was also moved. Not only did it used to be a barn, but it was also moved.
Wow.
I don't know that you'll get a much better picture than that, just because of,
I'm just wondering if there's one without like the trash can.
I doubt it, I think there's probably more trash cans.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they have a whole line of them for each apartment.
Oh.
Sarah, the changes are no, those were the changes that were to the.
Those were from 1989
Yep.
to now, I
Yep.
think. Yeah, for the ones I wrote.
Yeah.
Purple.
Okay.
See,
just
even
got the
in the
line.
Google
Got it.
Street View, there's like 4 trash cans.
Okay.
Oh.
And there's satellites on the,
Oh, okay.
Yep, the satellites here.
All right. Maybe
I think
it could be cut off in the side. I don't know. We'll leave that.
I like that it has that it was reused and it was also moved. And it was not only that, but it looked like, it sounds like it says that was flowed up. Did they like, I don't know what that means. Did they move it by water? Did they put this on a barge?
Stop trying to figure him out. Stop. You'll never understand the man. I've been working on it for 10 years
Right.
almost. And I
You have to take out your Ouija board to straighten some things
Not sure
out.
what's going on. This next one is really odd. 7C Street.
Yeah, this one I was like, it was not in Macris, even though it says it was built in 1915.
Okay, it was a remodeled a shed into a small dwelling.
This is nearby. So what is? Does that mean they did do that, or just near? I don't know how important nearby is.
No, nearby might have been the hold on a sec. Let me That could have been from
Like
the previous statement.
Yeah, that's,
Oh.
nearby is a weird word to use there.
Remember though, like I said, I was doing
Yeah.
Okay, so if I pull this up, Okay, so.
Ooh.
Let's see here.
There's no more chimney? That house?
Are you on 7?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, you're looking at a new.
I'm looking at the Google Street View because I'm like, wait, trying to figure out what
It has
house
an
is that.
interesting front.
It's got black shutters now, and the chimney is enclosed and no longer.
Oh, weird.
Eh.
Huh.
Is that the same view? Oh my god.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's strange. Wow, look at that difference. Looks like they might have added they have like a stack pipe coming out the middle now, but it looks like it's,
Okay, so
that's so odd.
okay, I got that address most likely going back through land records.
Oh.
So that is the correct address.
Wow.
So, yep, it was a shed that was made into a small dwelling.
Hmm.
So there's
That
another
is
repurpose,
interesting. Yeah.
but it is totally.
But it's very
Yeah, all over the
strange.
place.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's kind of a different view, I feel like, because in this picture, you see the rock wall with the side steps up to that door.
Yeah.
Whereas on the Google Street View, you're missing that. This is. where you
it's
can
almost like they
Right.
took the pretty picture
Yeah.
and not the street view picture.
It's got a lot of.
I think it's going to be
Concrete,
hard to make
too.
this go into our narrative.
Other than if
Other
we
than the
use
shed.
adaptive.
Oh,
Yeah.
adaptive. Yeah, that's the only thing.
I will put question mark
And we'll leave the
architectural
Reuse.
and
Yeah.
put adaptive.
And then I would just leave that photo, except for that pile of snow, it's the better angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Christmas decorations here. Must have been January.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
right.
people who still have them a little bit.
Okay, this is
You might be able to
Anne.
get, honestly, I mean,
Can't we just AI this and just be like, take off that?
Yeah, right? Can we? Sometimes AI is good at that. Other times, not so much. Like, you never know what you
I
get.
mean, even if you like snapshotted a Google Street View, looking at it like that.
Oh, yeah, that does look
Yeah,
better.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, some of these we can snapshot Google Street Views and not do pictures. Like I'm fine doing that for
Like
some of
this
these.
would be
Yeah.
a good one for that.
All right, let's,
Yeah.
can you make a note on that?
Google Street View for this one.
Yeah. Because that's like a kind of a nice picture.
Yeah.
It
Yep.
even looks good with the leaves.
Yeah.
Right.
I said, you're looking at 8C Street. I don't mind the single wreath as opposed, like, that doesn't bother me the way, like, the Christmas lights on.
And the
Yeah.
fact that they're falling off.
Yeah, that was another one. And single wreath is like, okay, it's fine.
Yes. I
I
don't see a whole lot about this one.
I think this is actually a good example of, like, what you're going to see a lot of the 1940s.
Right.
I'm saying, like, if we're looking at, I think you're going to, like, the 1930s, 1940s houses that started popping
And
up.
he was a master mechanic for Hayward Schuster.
The only thing is, I feel like we have like clusters of them elsewhere that are better examples of that.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we.
Goodbye, C Street.
I just want to. No, I just want to make sure we get like this style because I do
Yeah.
feel like we've got them, and I do think they tell a narrative of like that time
That later
period.
part. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny.
a
You
1940.
you say it was. Where did you get old style house built in 1930? Who did that? Was that you,
looks like-
Dawn?
That was that.
Or was that
That
you?
must have been me.
Because you've got it as
Style.
1930.
Did I
And-
get that from the tax assessors thing?
I'm
I
wondering-
might have.
Because-
Oh, it said Macros. I was
It said
thinking-
not in Macris, so
Yeah.
I think I just,
Oh, yeah.
I must have gone to either the assessor or,
And then
because I wrote CAI
Oh, yeah.
from property card.
And then, because Marsh had it as 1940, so I'm wondering if they
Oh.
started putting something up in the 30s and it finished in in 1940.
That could be.
Because that's one of the problems is the assessors, especially for certain periods, you've got like these 5 to 10 year
Yeah,
differences
Right.
with Marsh.
yeah. So, yeah, I probably got that from the assessor site because I wrote CAI from property card. So I think I was kind of pulling information off of that. And then I said, feel free to change or add to this because I'm like, I was kind of making it up as I went along. So I'm glad you had the little historic piece.
Like I said, it's so tough on those because you get differing dates on some of them, and you're like, oh,
Right? A new house in 1940. Hmm. I don't know, they kind of go on about the people's children and who they married. That's kind of,
yeah. Well, that's where he becomes a gossip.
right? Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of like, okay. Although he's a master mechanic at Hayward Schuster. Hmm. That part fits the narrative a little bit. But.
So 10C is another conversion of non-residential into dwelling.
Oh.
And in the early 80s, they mean 1880s.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, right.
Hayward Company, Lee and Murdoch. Originally a paint shop.
Made
So-
over into a dwelling.
So 10C, I think, might be more historical
Yes.
than anything.
That was once owned by Lucius Simpson.
All right, so
Hayward Company sold it to
it is 4:27. Do we want to finish C Street and call it? What are we thinking? We said we were originally going to go to 4:30.
I do have to leave by 5.
Okay.
So
What's
I-
after C Street if we were to just go
Cemetery.
through?
Nope, cemetery, we only have Pine Grove Cemetery,
Okay,
so I
So
figured
that
we'd...
should be quick.
Yeah, well, I didn't even have anything for that one.
Oh, okay.
Then we have Charles Street, which has only got 2 properties. Then we have Cook Street, which is a lot. So maybe we go
I'm
through...
okay to keep
to
going if we
Charles.
want to go, till 5 or till we get to Charles. We'll do the 2 on Charles and then
Why don't we go to-
start the large group next time.
Why don't we go to Charles?
Okay.
Charles. Oh,
Through
So we-
Charles.
Yeah, through Charles and start at Cook after.
is that good with everybody?
Yep.
Okay, so now we are on 12C.
Where have I seen something about Lucy's?
You guys all going to the Italian recognition dinner?
Oh, the volunteer dinner. Yes. Are you guys gonna go?
Yeah, that's
I
the
am-
plan anyway.
Jed
I don't know, when
is
that?
Jed is in Boston,
Oh,
so I have Colin. So
When is it? Let's see.
I'm not going to be able to.
Oh, you can't take him?
I figured a 3.5. Nobody wants a 3.5-year-old running around. One
Oh.
of those. As cute as he is.
I unfortunately do not get home until like 8 o'clock.
Oh.
So-
We'll leave a dish on your doorstep.
Yeah, my new job is.
Oh, a new job.
I switched jobs about a month ago.
Oh.
Oh.
Same role or?
I'm a dental assistant,
Where are you?
Elite Dental Studio in Westboro.
Oh.
Ooh, that's a drive.
Not really, it's
Half
like
an
a-
hour.
I'm lazy. I work 3 minutes down the road.
Oh, I know.
I've gotten to the point where I'm like, anything more than, well, anything longer than the community center, I'm like, I have to travel?
I feel ya. But I was used to it. I worked in Northborough for a long time.
Yeah, I know. If I could have a half an hour commute, I'd be so happy with that. I mean, I have none, but I had to go outside and
I have like a 5-minute commute and a 2-minute commute, so either
Wow.
Walmart or Town Hall, so.
So you've
Not
got
too
a-
far.
You've got another bungalow on C Street.
So did we keep the paint shop? Because
Yes.
that's one of those adaptive reuse?
Yep, we kept that, but we kept it more under historical
Oh, okay.
than...
Yeah, that's fine. And then another bungalow, not in Macris. Currently has final site.
So C Street's got 3 bungalows.
Should we do them
And
as a
eight,
group?
and eight C Street counts as one of those bungalows. Maybe we just kind of bundle
Those
the
together.
bungalows.
Right, we have
I just think of
bungalow,
the
bungalow.
bungalows
Say
as
that
being
5
so,
times
like,
fast.
coastal
That
or
picture is
vacation
probably
and
gonna
not
be
know.
way better than what we can get, because I believe there is an elderly woman that lives there now, and so it's kind of like the landscaping is very unkempt like that.
Mhm.
'Cause
So,
I-
so 5, 8, and 12. So we had
Yeah.
crossed out 5, we had crossed out 8. But I think if we just put 5, 8, and 12 as
One
the
thing.
bungalows.
bungalows, I
Sure.
think
Right.
that way
A
we.
grouping of bungalows.
And then we
A
have
bundle
photos
of
of each
bungalows.
reference. Yeah.
Bundle of bungalows. Well, because I'd actually put 5, crossed it out, but I put like the question mark next to it because of the bungalow aspect. So
Right.
this
Yeah.
way it just.
Yeah.
Okay. "14 is such a interesting house.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like any other house
Yeah,
in
it is interesting.
town. It's so.
A newspaper reporter.
Mrs. Bowers had been married, but her husband did not live here. Bet there's a story there.
Once again, he's a
Right.
gossip, and he does this. He just gives you that little nugget where
Right.
he doesn't tell you anything.
And then this said something like, it was a duplex, but I couldn't ascertain from the property card that it was a duplex today. So I'm wondering if it's converted to a single story.
It's such
I mean, a single
long,
family, but,
such a long
But
house.
still has 2 doors.
right?
Like I said, I almost feel like we need to include it because of how unique it is. But
Yeah,
I don't know if
right.
it fits
It doesn't fit into any narrative.
into any
that way,
narrative.
yeah.
It is very unique.
It is.
And I don't know how many stucco houses we see in Douglas. I want to say not too many.
Well, okay, so
Yeah.
far we have 2 unusual houses. We have the Gothic the Gothic one, and we've got this one.
And then, yeah.
Like, we could even just mention, like, you've got those couple of individual houses that don't really.
Right.
Right.
We do have a lot of unique, just across town, not just downtown, like some
Yeah.
really weird, but in a good way, unique
Well,
houses.
Yeah, right?
Just very much, they're kind of on their own. They don't fit the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I'm gonna put
Question mark.
architectural doesn't fit narrative. Architectural unique doesn't fit in.
Yeah, right? It's just too bad there's not like a thread to connect it to the narrative, but it is so interesting, so.
This talks about the architects some more in this Lennox rather one. So, Lennox Cottage era. But, so it might be worth doing a little research when we get, maybe that's something with the,
But unfortunately, we don't know a lot about any of the architects.
Right.
Yeah, but someone on the internet might, or whatever.
We've
but-
only got like the A.F.
Jones.
Jones, couple of them.
We've only got very few architects. Like we know
Yeah.
very little about who actually built a lot of.
But I mean, we can at least try to look it up. Like this one, the native of Parkman, native of Boston, they graduated from Harvard, studied abroad, built this building, that building.
Lexington maybe just a little more, I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah, Lennox, but it's,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if our architect went to Harvard or not, but. And this 16 C Street,
Isaac Dane.
that's like very, it's 1967.
Okay, that's
like very
interesting because I had
modern.
1937 written down.
On 60 on this
Yeah.
guy.
Did I? I could. It could have been a typo.
Not in Macris. So I probably would have gotten that information
Yeah,
from
I-
the assessor site.
You know what? I probably typed a 3 instead.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, because she looks pretty 60s to me. I don't know, with that stone facade.
We're supposed to have images of the non-houses, like the cemeteries. I mean, we certainly could.
Yes, we're supposed to have images of the sites and the objects.
Okay, objects.
Did we figure out what the ball field falls under?
No.
As an area or a?
I think he
Site.
said area park is what he ended up calling it.
Oh,
That's in a different screen that I'm in.
okay.
No, that's not what I wanted. Building, structure, site, object. I think we ended up calling it a site, but I'm not positive. I think, but I'm not 100%. I'd have to go back through our notes. I want to say they were kind of ambiguous when they answered us on the ballpark.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
This was probably the store mentioned.
Okay, so C Street.
Smallpox. Oh,
Okay, so we're not.
oh, Dawn, your house had a smallpox.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. And it was a store? That's
Yes.
super cool.
Yeah.
I feel
Very
like
interesting.
both Charles Streets probably are included. It's just under
These are
what?
part of the
Yeah.
lower, I don't know why it doesn't say it there, but these are
part of
the
Lower Village.
Lower, oh, I thought I was gonna say Lower Village, Lower Village. So it's these two houses that were housing in
Them
a
in
store.
North.
And then the
Yeah.
four
Yeah.
multifamilies around the corner on North Street.
Right. That's interesting. Yeah, I think I would definitely.
Wait, is your house the one with the little
25
cat, the little
Charles.
black cat? And the little
Oh, yeah.
My dogs get so freaked out by that. I'm like, it's not even real.
Oh no.
They're like,
we got our neighbor moving. We still have
Oh really? Oh no. Oh jeez. Your cat got kidnapped. Oh,
no. I love it. My dogs get a kick out of it
That's
because
so
they hate it
funny.
so much.
oh my god. Oh,
And I
that's
think
hilarious.
it's hysterical.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It was to scare people who were driving too fast. So
Right?
I think it did
That's
work.
a good
My
idea,
friend said,
right?
she's like,
Yeah. You can't be too careful around that corner, you know?
I think
There's always a cat running across the street.
I would definitely include both of the ones on Charles Street
yeah,
as.
I think
I
25
both,
is
maybe.
both.
I think
Well, I was
for
going to
the
say 25 is both historical and architectural because this is the only truly federal style commercial building in Douglas.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
there
I
you
would
go.
definitely
And it's also part of the adaptive reuse because if it was a store and then it was a house.
Kind of. I thought
Kind
that's
of,
pretty
except maybe it
common.
was like a storehouse.
I
And then it
can't
was
Yeah.
figure out how they had it
Victims
as a
of
store.
disease.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, see, now this photo is old. There's no porch.
which
Get
one?
you a new, the 25 Charles. And I think we cited it since I'm always saying it's the wrong color.
27, I would definitely go with just historical, I think.
Because it was like one of the early
Boarding-
boarding houses.
Housing. Yeah. it's
That was the
pretty
only
big.
one that I came across that I think said it was a boarding house as opposed to like a tenement house. So.
Oh, yeah, there's a difference, right? So it's more
Yeah,
like-
because boarding is more like I think like
Like
the
single
each
room.
Yeah, like
I've never
each
been
room would have
upstairs,
been-
but I've been downstairs. Yeah, but it has like, they've got a lot of the, well, I don't know, that's not architectural, but a lot of these grinding stones and it's so close, the mill would have been where the water treatment plant
Right.
is.
It's like closest to the mill site.
Right.
I would include it like at least as
Nope,
one or the other.
31 through 37 are also boarding houses.
Oh, really? They weren't
Yes.
just like a apartment.
Nope, nope, and they were actually boarding. So
Oh.
the
On
third
what street?
North Street.
Okay.
So they were.
Those four that look the same.
Yep, those were
Oh.
boarding houses
Oh,
as well.
interesting. Oh,
I was almost-
interesting.
Yep. So I think 27 is historical, 25 is historical and
And
architectural.
architectural.
Yep. Do we need pictures on both?
I can get those photos.
Okay.
27 hasn't changed much, but right now it looks nice.
You're like, right now, it's,
It looks better than it does in the photos.
okay.
Less snow. Hopefully less snow.
Yeah.
So none of the cemetery street, real quick, cemetery.
I only have Gilboa.
No,
Oh,
because
okay.
I didn't do anything. Cemetery Street, we had, one of them was 1957 was just I know 57 kind of fell into our possibly.
Which number cemetery?
7.
Okay, is that, let's see.
Oh, I don't
It's,
I gotta
it's,
think about it for a second. Which
it's
one is that?
it's
The one on the corner opposite?
yes, the
Corner
corner.
of
Google
Bean
it.
Cemetery?
Technically, it's 1957, but it was a standard cape, so we had it as a non-contributing. I just want to confirm with everybody that that's the route we want to.
This came up with Zill, not the street view, but that's 6 cemetery.
Oh,
right?
that's 6. Yeah, because that's the one right next to me. So the one down, number 7. Which one is
Let me go this way. Sometimes it's just easier to go
Right. I'm like, which one is number 7?
because sometimes it doesn't
Is it
want
the
to.
one like on the corner of Bean Cemetery? Because our houses are
Some
numbered
of the
so
early
weirdly.
axe
Yeah.
grinders
Oh,
we got
that's the
a
one right
construction
across
of
from
their-
me.
I mean, we originally had it as non-contributing, but it's 1957, so I just want to confirm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how we would even, like,
I mean, we can move it to
It's a tough one.
contributing so that we've got to, but we don't have to include it in the narrative.
Yeah, why
or-
don't we do that? Include it.
Include it as a contributing, but move it to a non-narrative.
Correct.
yeah.
Okay.
1957.
Yeah, like I said,
What year did we end up making the cutoff?
1970.
I was gonna say
70?
70, but just 70.
Right.
So I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna double check, and if, what I'll do is I'll go through, I'll double check, see what the years are.
Okay.
I'll change it to, if it's before 1970, we have it as non-contributing, I'll change it to contributing. I'll just make sure it's not part of the narrative.
Okay.
Because I don't
So-
believe, if it's contributing, did we have to have a photo? Because Lennox did not have
I feel like the non-contributing, we don't need a photo. I think we figured that out.
non-contributing, we don't.
We definitely don't, but
So Lennox, what they did, remember they had some where they like had four property, like they did
they
like
clustered them.
they clustered them. So they had 277 contributing and 193 photos.
Oh, good. That's a lot less.
So I feel like we can
Obviously.
kind of fudge a little.
Yeah.
Like if it's, you know, because it'll fall within our
Trying to see how it-
year, but like A Street, 1966, Cape, non-contributing, because
Right.
it's a it's a
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
Cape in 1966. Or what I can do is I can go through and I can see how many. Let's change. Do we want to change the year to be like 1960? And I can see how many post 1960 contributing we have.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I think that
I just,
sounds
I feel
okay.
like we're going to have a lot more from 1960 to 1970 that are
Yeah.
non-contributing than we're going to have that are contributing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And it might be worth just losing those couple of contributing.
Okay.
Tell me
makes
what.
sense.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I'm
Our-
just thinking, because if the mill went to 40 or 40 something,
So-
should that be 1950?
So the
Right.
mill went. So the mill heyday really started declining in the 1970s. Like 1970 was when it started
Yeah.
declining.
Yeah.
83 is when it closed.
Okay.
The decline of the mills really, you started to really see
So
in
maybe
the
we could even
70s.
cut it off at
Which is
60?
why I'm thinking if we
Yeah.
can maybe do 60. Let
Right.
me
Or
go
we
through.
maybe even could do 55, like,
Well,
I don't know, you know.
If you why don't I do a thing from 45? I'll do 45. How many do we have contributing? 45 to 50. How many do we have contributing from 51
Like every
to
5
50?
years.
Yeah, I'll do,
Yeah.
and we'll see,
Okay.
and then we
Okay,
can
yeah.
determine like where
Okay.
can we actually cut off.
Right.
Because I feel like as we're going through, I'm like there are a lot that are non-contributing, but they technically fall in
In the time period, right?
But it's like it's a cape.
Yeah, right.
The problem is we kind of wanted to cover a little of that post World War II
Yeah.
time period.
Just so we get some of the stuff that was built during that.
So like I would
But I
think,
almost think like maybe up to 55 or
I'm
so.
almost thinking 55 might be a better
Yeah.
cutoff, but I can look and we can reassess if everybody's good
Sure.
with that thought
Yeah.
I'm
process.
fine with that.
I feel like as we're going through it, I'm seeing more of a gap.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be nice if we could cut down our number of contributing a little, then that's
Yeah.
less
Right.
photos and
Well,
stuff.
I mean, maybe we don't even have to include the one we just looked at on cemetery, because that's, I mean, it's like your typical mid-50s type of house. but-
Yeah, so if we could cut off at 55, I think 55 might be a better,
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
sure, let's take a look at it. Do you want your,
wait,
those are the ones we did. And these are the ones we haven't done.
I mean, I feel like, now granted, like I said, I didn't print them all off, but I feel like we did,
Yeah, we did,
Yeah,
we
I
got a
feel like it
good
was-
job
I
done.
think our first one's gonna be the slowest too, because we're
Yeah,
figuring
right.
how
and
to
I
do
think
it.
we started to get a little bit
we're-
of a groove at the end.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
Yeah.
what are our thought processes? Or how many more,
How many more do we need? I don't think we'll know until, but I think we should make sure we schedule another one, hopefully pretty soon. And then, that's the hardest part. What's
Yeah.
your schedule now, Christy?
I work Monday through Thursday,
Okay,
so Fridays are always awesome.
okay. And, is any evening those days possible, or is it too late?
I don't get home Tuesday and Thursday till 8:15.
Okay.
And then
So-
I don't get home until at earliest 6 o'clock on Monday, Wednesday.
Okay. Okay. So,
Friday might become difficult for me, but it's hard to say,
Yeah.
because I have like deliveries on different days, so.
okay, and we could do a 7 o'clock on a Monday or Wednesday, but then.
okay,
be
so
late,
Mondays
right?
are gonna start being out for me because Jed's gonna start having golf league.
Okay, okay.
So,
Well, we
and
I wouldn't
We can
mind-
try Friday, like,
Well, what about a Saturday? Because.
if we could do
I think-
Friday even a little bit later in the day, so that like,
like it's with
I
later than 2.
yeah, like just starting,
Yeah, 'cause
slightly after
it's-
that.
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
because that way I can at least like kind of work a full day if
Like
I'm
3 to
leaving,
5 or
like-
5 something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
I can do that.
I could
Fridays
do-
are
Because
open
2
for
is a
me.
little
I just
early, because then I have to
know-
leave like 1
Yeah.
o'clock-ish.
Yeah.
To make it, so if we could do like a 3 PM,
Okay.
I'm likely to be able to do that.
I could do like
I
a
could do any of
3
those.
to like a 5:30, but I'd have to leave around 5:30. I couldn't leave much later than that.
Okay. Um, so which one do you guys want to do? Because I can do any dates at that time.
Okay, May, I am gonna be gone for 2 Fridays.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I
That
am
narrows it
gonna
down.
be gone the next 2 Fridays. I'm gonna be gone the rest of April,
Okay.
pretty much, out of state.
So we're looking at May, and
And
what 2
then-
Fridays are you not available in May?
The 9th and the 16th, we're taking Colin to see the mouse.
16th.
Oh, no.
He loves
Disney World?
Yeah. And then originally we were coming home, and my niece is my cousin's down in Fort Lauderdale, and they're having her birthday. We were coming home on Saturday, that's her birthday, and we were able to change our flight for $30.
Oh, good.
Wow.
I always feel like you can't change it. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, there's no
Right?
We were able to change, and it's like, wait, I get to celebrate my niece's birthday for an extra $30, and
Yeah.
I never get to see them. So it was
Oh.
it was a no-brainer. So
Nice.
that just extended our trip that we weren't planning on. So the 23rd and the 30th.
23rd and
Those are
30th.
fine.
I can, let's see, is the 30th, is one of those gonna be the weekend of Memorial Day?
Yeah,
No,
23rd
the
goes into.
23rd to the 26th is the weekend, is Memorial Day weekend.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh. Wow. Is it early this year? I always thought it
Yeah.
was around the 30th.
It usually is.
it's the
because
last
usually
Monday.
around my birthday.
It's the last
Yeah.
Monday of the month, and the 31st is on a Saturday this year. So that's why it's
Oh.
So
so
do we want
early.
to do the
Okay.
30th then, May 30th?
Sure, let's go for the 30th. Because I was gonna say, like, Memorial Day is usually like a huge
Yeah, you're
plant
gonna be
sale weekend.
Yeah, you're
so,
gonna be
yeah.
busy.
But the 30th, we'll try, and that's like 3 o'clock, so.
May 30th. I'll send it.
Thanks.
Let me put it in my color. Everybody's got their own color on the calendar too.
Oh, that's on my calendar, is, but not for. So I will call, or if we have an estimate on that board, if we, it's gonna be, like, say one is like 500 to a little over 1,000.
Right.
And then the other one's probably gonna be a couple thousand, like, at least that, maybe just a ballpark would be okay, but I can
Yeah.
also start, calling around, because it sounds like that might be the way to get it.
Like I said, I think the national, I just cannot get them out.
I would bet the details probably like would affect the price too, like how many images you have.
Yeah.
versus,
Yeah, if it's a
like-
3-panel.
Right.
And also
Yeah.
like mounted versus freestanding.
Yeah,
like
right.
all of this is gonna play into things.
Yeah, so maybe, you know, yeah, I mean ballpark probably would be a little helpful, but we probably wouldn't know the, you know.
Even the ballpark.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's like because it could really, it's like a big range, you
Yeah.
know, like $500 to $5,000. Like,
Yeah.
that's a big.
Yeah,
I
that's a
know.
little bit different.
Right.
Because we won't need a mount probably if it's going to be on the building, like those kind of things, you know.
And then like who installs that? Like, I don't know. I guess that's a question either way. Like, is there someone that would have to like?
Like I said,
Yeah.
I don't know how you stick those things on so they don't come off.
it would also be interesting, like I said, to see if we could get any help with funding. Because I
Yeah.
feel like something like that, we might be able to get some form. I don't think we could get national, but we might be able to get state.
Right.
Oh, I'm like, what? Now what? No, it's you. Oh, I've been sitting way too long.
Oh no.
Yeah, my hips, I can feel them.
It happens at work too. Like I'll be doing stuff on the computer, all of a sudden I'll stand up and I'm like,
Okay. Just back.
does anybody want to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion
Good
to
to-
adjourn.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting of the Historical Commission is adjourned at 4:56 p.m.